New customers join today, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/Happer and sign up. That's FanDuel.com/Happer. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
I'm Taylor Bisciotti with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. One of the top head coaching candidates decided to pull his name out of the ring Tuesday. Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson informed the Seahawks and Commanders that he'll be staying in Detroit, according to NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero. Seattle and Washington are the only two remaining teams still in search of a new head coach, and we're expected to meet with Johnson this week. This marks the second year in a row the Lions OC was considered a top head coaching candidate and made the same decision to stay in the Motor City. Elsewhere, the Steelers hired former Falcons head coach Arthur Smith to become their new offensive coordinator. The Steelers' offense was 28th in points scored in 2023, while Smith's Falcons were 26th. And former Chargers head coach Brandon Staley is meeting with the Rams today for their defensive coordinator vacancy. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life.
Hewitt!
So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt! Yeah!
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learn.
The backseat. Check the backseat. All right, come here. Check the backseat.
Gets in your head, right? Good. Because every year, dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them. But with changes in routines, distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. So get it in your head.
Check the backseat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. ShopTicketsForLess.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over. Danced to another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Here in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com.
Everlevel. What's up, guys? What are we doing? What's going on? Are we talking hats?
We were talking hats, yeah. Yeah.
I for one am disgusted. I had it on my sheet for today. I get centralizing, focusing the brand, but man.
Well, and we all wear hats in here too, and
we're hat guys.
We're hat snobs.
We're up on hat fashion.
We like. I'm more concerned. I've said it all morning. I'm more concerned about the black hat when they're going for a sweep on a Sunday or a conference win on a Sunday. They're going with the black accessories and the black hat, and you got the big red block and staring you down.
Well, I just don't like the big block. Like Creighton,
it's so fat.
Creighton has a hat that they don't wear it. They don't wear it. It's not their regular hat, but they used to have a big block C hat.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it was very rare that they would wear.
It's very large.
I love Creighton's old skinny red C.
Yeah, the Reds one. Like Central had
Central used to have that too.
But I like it on the dark blue hat. So this is old school. That's going back to the days of Jim Henry.
Yes, going back to the College World Series days.
Yeah.
Yep.
So well, they had. While I was growing up, it was the black hat with the blue bill with the Reds.
Yeah, and that was cool too.
That's a great hat. That's a classically
like
great
in your Dan Norquist days.
Yeah,
but just the big block and on a baseball cap. I mean, if you're going to buy it to wear in the stands as a fan, I just don't like it on the team.
I don't either.
I agree. I completely agree. Well, now that we're phasing out the skinny end.
The skinny end hats I have, now I'm going to wear them with pride.
While we're fighting back against it, what did Will text you?
He said, yeah, he heard people didn't like it, but he doesn't mind it.
I don't think Will dabbles much in that.
It wasn't a glowing endorsement, yet it wasn't like, yeah, I hate it too. Because then I said, well, if you hate it, then do something about it. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think Will, I don't think he's fashion policing that much.
No.
But
you know where it first got discovered? When they put out the schedule poster.
I know.
And you're like,
and then all of a sudden they show up to practice.
Well, so I thought it might be. So I've just started looking at all the spring training hats. They might have gotten the spring training hats right this year.
I haven't seen them yet.
Oh, I have.
I like the Cubs one.
I try to get one every year.
So they've just started to kind of leak them out because spring training starts in a couple of weeks. So I thought maybe it's just a practice hat. And Nick said, no, they don't have a practice hat. And then I'm like, I don't like that look.
Okay, I see what they're going for here. I'm looking at the Cubs one right now.
They didn't overdo it with the spring training hats.
No.
And that's saying something.
I really like the spring training hats they did last year too. It was like the mesh back.
Yeah.
But it was still a fitted hat. I got one of those.
How did that fit, by the way? That's why I didn't get one, because I've never done like the full fit mesh. I've had like a mesh flex. Like,
it was a good hat.
Was it?
I have a Royals one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I do too, with the black build.
Yeah, it's a pretty good hat. So, yeah, we're the hat police here, and our official ruling on Nebraska's new baseball hats, bad. Bad.
Yeah, I don't like it. I do not like it.
I say if we're getting rid of the skinny end, we got to change the helmets. It's time.
How awkward would that look?
If the skinny end is going away, then make the skinny end go away.
They blow up the red end on the white helmet. Oh, my goodness.
The block end on the helmet, you'd look like basically Northeast High School.
Yeah.
You'd look like one of those. I mean, Kansas is now, but for the record,
the over, like the Jayhawk that's like creeping into the face mask.
For the record, I love most of Kansas's looks on like they do a pretty good job, but their giant Jayhawk or their giant K, too big.
But the thing that we like here, Nebraska doesn't mess with their helmet. Like KU and like Minnesota, you never know what day of the week it is, what helmet they're wearing.
Yep.
KU will wear different helmets. We're just so used to Nebraska doesn't mess with the helmet.
It's iconic.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe it.
Just like they shouldn't mess with the baseball hat.
Alabama's not messing with their helmet.
No,
Penn
you can't put anything on
messing
that.
with their helmet. Michigan is not messing with their helmet. Ohio State doesn't.
No.
But
no, I mean, I'm kidding, but I'm trying to stick up for baseball here a little bit. Get the skinny end back on there. This is a disgrace.
Oh, I do like the Cubs one is cool. I like the colors.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Little powder blue,
light blue with
there.
the royal blue bill. Yeah,
it's a good look. It's a good look.
nice.
Are we? Anybody planning on making a voyage down to the Cactus League this year?
I'm a grapefruit guy.
I'll be.
You're a grapefruit
I'll be
guy.
in Arizona after spring training.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay. It's been many years for me now, but I long for it.
Ooh, Toronto's are sweet.
I love when the Royals win the Cactus League every year.
Like last year.
Hey, I think it's the last 2 years. They were like undefeated 2 years ago.
So walking in the outfield on the concourse, I did not see the flag up for the Cactus League Championship.
No, they're going to put that up. Right.
I mean, if the Lakers could put one up for the in-season tournament,
I agree.
I think they should.
Yep.
Cactus League
They
and
should.
grapefruit.
Back-to-back Cactus League champs.
Yep.
I don't know if they won it, if they actually won it, but
So you saw them in Surprise, right?
yeah, I saw them.
It's a cool little ballpark.
It was actually the year after they won the World Series, I think. The most recent time I went. So it was 16.
Yeah, I like that ballpark. That one was nice.
Nice little
Compared
park.
to Tempe Diablo.
Well, and you put them all right next to each other. It's a lovely setup down there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to go enjoy spring training where I don't work, because when you're working, you just can't enjoy it. And when you have an intern that goes, what are the Twins' record? I'm like, I don't know.
Who cares? Who cares?
But when we were we redid our spring training stadium, we went on a tour of the Cactus League. And so we went to Surprise, where the Rangers and the Royals are.
Mm-hmm.
But the place to go is where the Rockies are.
Yes.
So we took a lot of ideas from what the Rockies have. What is it? Salt Lake Creek or
Salt Creek,
something like that.
Yeah.
But their stadium is beautiful.
Salt River.
I always tell people, they're like, hey, you did spring training. What do you think? And I said, Florida's tough. In Arizona, you're going to see more starters play because their starters can get in their car and drive, and then
Mhm.
after their 3 at bats, they can go home.
Bye-bye.
And they're all within the Phoenix area.
Yeah.
Like in Florida,
It's all within like a half hour, except for the one, except for Mesa or Tempe or whatever it is.
No, Tempe's pretty close. I think it's Mesa, yeah.
but compared to Florida, where you're spread out,
Several
unless you're
hours.
in the Tampa area or Fort Myers or over on the other coast,
Yeah.
you're not
Like
probably
you're not
see
going
the
to
starters.
convince Aaron Judge to get on a 4-hour bus ride
Like when
to
St. Louis
Kissimmee.
comes across the alley to play in Fort Myers, don't expect Pujols to come.
No,
but
yeah.
if St. Louis is going up to St. Lucie to play the Mets, chance that Pujols is going to play. This is an example.
Exactly.
So Arizona is,
and they share. Like in Florida, they don't share.
except for the Nationals and the Astros share in Palm Beach.
Okay. There you go. I've been to the Orioles Park in Bradenton, Sarasota. That's a nice little spot over there.
The Reds used to be there. Then the Reds got a great financial deal. They moved to Arizona.
Oh, okay.
We tried to.
The Reds and the Guardians share now, I think.
They do. Yep. Yep.
Yes, which is unique
In
because
Goodyear.
Yep.
because you got all the Ohioans that come down.
Yeah.
It's like an all mingle.
Yeah, we could be really sicko.
Hey,
we could just name
it's-
where all of them are.
The thing about spring training, which is great to go to, I go to the backfields, go get your autographs.
Yes.
It's a great opportunity to be close to the players, but focus on going to the backfields,
Definitely.
either to see prospects or a lot of the big names will go back there and work out.
Because going to the games is expensive now.
Well, so
it costs a lot to get into the games.
Inside baseball, the ticket prices for spring training are through the roof.
They're out of control.
But we make so much money during spring training.
Yeah.
Like major
I'm
league
sure.
teams make a lot of money during spring training. But there's no reason that for an exhibition game, sitting behind home plate should be $75.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
But most of the ballparks are sold out.
I know. Well, I mean, especially like, the Cubs building their new palace in wherever they are. What's their little town?
They
called?
are.
They're in Mesa.
That's right. They're Mesa. They have a Portillo's out there, don't they? No, I'm serious.
Do they
I
really?
swear to God, I think they have a Portillo's. Like
Okay,
near
that's
there.
good.
Yeah.
That's just a huge trap.
And I don't know if it's like Giordano's or Gino's, but I think they have a Chicago pizza as well.
Skyline Chili has a place in Arizona now.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
You bring the comforts of home.
Time to put an Arthur Bryant's in surprise.
Yeah, surprise.
Yeah. Or Gates or Q30
Yeah,
Omaha.
the ticket prices though are ridiculous for spring.
It's crazy, man. And that was just when I was there, which is 7-8 years ago now. They were already like, man, I don't know if I even want to go to the games anymore. I kind of just want to bounce around and go to the backfields and stuff like that. Yeah, it's getting rough out there.
Yeah, just also another tip is when
stay safe out there.
When let's say you're going to watch the Royals, but they're playing against the Dodgers, doesn't mean that nobody is working out. So go to the Royals complex, even though they're on the road, because if Bobby Witt Jr. is not making the trip to go play the Dodgers, he might be inter-squad games, something. Might be playing in a minor league game.
I actually went down. We walked in so the White Sox and the Dodgers share, I think, in whatever town it is. So it's a little bit across town, at least from where Surprise is, which is where we're sort of like centrally located. And I saw Chris Sale start in a spring training game. I'm like, wow, this is kind of good. He's pitching to all 22-year-olds and stuff.
I think the day we were there, we saw it because since it was very convenient for the Royals and Rangers to play, since they were sharing that they played. I want to say there were quite a few starters that were actually in that game, but that was like the kickoff spring training. It was really cool to see that.
Yeah, they give them, they do real life starting lineups at the beginning, and then you see
and then it
a
just
little bit more. At the end
then
too.
maybe an inning or two. It's like, wait, okay, I see an 80 something in there. There's a 74.
If you don't,
and then those jerseys go on sale at the,
then you
at
can
the
wear
team
them.
store
That's
later.
right.
if you're just
That's
going
awesome.
for the experience and the warm weather,
It's got to be.
you're going to go whenever. But if you want to go see basically what is your opening day roster, wait until about the third week. So it's about the third week of spring training where they're down to about 35 guys in camp, but they're trying to get their entire starting lineup to play together.
Mhm.
So they're going to play 5, 6, 7 innings. And then the starters are also, they're starting to stretch them out. So your number 1, number 2, number 3 guys are actually going to start real games, and they're going to pitch probably 4 or 5 innings.
That makes sense.
So I always,
It's like equivalent to the third preseason game in the NFL.
If that's what you want to see, wait till week 3. Plus, spring break around the country is over, so people are starting to leave Florida and
Going
Arizona.
back north.
So your access and tickets are probably going to be a little bit easier.
Those are all good.
But what is
quality
awful
advice.
is the last week of spring training.
Yeah.
Because guys, the season is here. The moving truck has come down. They've loaded the truck up. Guys just want the season to begin. And like the last 3 or 4 days of spring training, except for that day when they play it like a real game.
Yeah, they play in like San
it
Diego
is
or something.
awful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
you
can
don't
imagine.
you don't want to be there. It's a ghost town.
Yeah, they
Again,
play,
it's
so they like the last time before they
And it's
leave
warmer up
Arizona and
north.
Florida, there'll be one game in that last week where every team will play it like a real game. Like they'll do signs, they'll do everything. But after that,
Mm-hmm. You just got to hope you're there on the right day.
It's like amazing how like similar that is to like the NFL preseason in the old format. Like you didn't even care about weeks 1 and 2. It was just kind of exciting. Hey, we're seeing football then. But week 3 was the dress rehearsal, so that was the one to see. And then the very final one was like all for the guys that were trying to latch on to the 53-man roster.
it's
That's
long,
all.
man. It's about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
oh, what pitchers and catchers report in like 2?
Yeah,
we're here.
Some like
Yeah.
in 10 days.
Yeah, because we are
Baseball.
now we are 2 Fridays away from a college baseball starting. And it's usually, I remember with those trips would usually coincide with pitchers and catchers would already be in those spring training locations in Arizona.
Beautiful. 2 weeks till Creighton's in Baltimore.
It's so weird.
Can't wait. Ed Service will probably be on the show like what, next week, 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Something
2
like
weeks. You gotta get the baseball show.
Wait a
going.
minute. So, Pink came and took our money in Omaha, and she's going to take our money in Lincoln. So Lil Wayne was at
Oh.
Baxter Arena not too long ago.
Yeah.
He's coming back to Nebraska.
Yeah, there's another one. That's,
April 10th, he'll be at PBA.
There's another one coming that
He's going from Baxter to PBA. Good for him.
I
Must have been a
was-
success.
I was sworn to secrecy on another person who has regained popularity who will be coming back to town over the summer.
Who?
Like a person or a group?
A person.
Wait, they were here when?
Well, they were more known for the things they did in like the early, I don't know about the early 2000s, but there was definitely a time for this person, and that time is no longer.
Dane Cook?
But they have sort of
Dice Man?
regrown in
Oh.
popularity.
Andrew Dice Clay's coming back?
I'd be
They
down
are-
for Dice.
They are known for the mastery of auto-tune.
Oh.
Oh, yes. I've heard about this.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All
this-
right.
And he's big. you know?
When?
I don't know.
Can we say?
Okay.
I don't think we should, Jimmy.
Okay.
I don't think
You guys
we
know?
should. I don't think we've been
Yes.
sworn to secrecy on this.
I know when and where.
Oh, you know when? Tell them when.
June 2nd.
June 2nd.
Where at?
Okay.
Stir.
Yeah.
Let's stir. Oh,
There,
okay.
we didn't do anything
Okay.
wrong. We're just naming venues and dates.
Pretty sure everyone can
Now
figure out who we're
we'll-
talking
No,
about.
but they don't know. The thing isn't announced yet.
Okay.
They Yeah.
And we didn't name names.
No, we didn't name
We
names.
just- we just named pretty good hints.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lil Wayne was just at Baxter Arena. By the way, great show.
I
If
love
you want to
Lil
go to
Wayne.
PBA, you're going to be entertained.
So when's this?
April 10th.
What's our annual weed concert this year?
That's it.
That's it? Celebrating a little early.
The annual weed concert.
Well, 2 years ago was Snoop a Loop. Last year it was Jelly Bowls.
I'm still
and
No.
it was
Jelly roll.
No.
Are you talking about jelly roll?
Yeah. No.
Jelly roll? Jelly bowls.
Jelly donut?
No, it wasn't him. It was Co, the country rap
Yes.
weed guy. Yeah. He was last year. So I guess we're on
But
the line.
unlike previous years, there were no guys that just recently got kicked off the Nebraska basketball team standing in the front row below in a tree.
Hell yeah. Well, not that we know of.
Not the last couple of years, I'm pretty sure. But
Sorry.
Sometimes you see things at these places.
How did Lincoln get Snoop for 420?
That was the most amazing thing
I still can't believe, like, of all places you're going to see Snoop on 420, Lincoln.
Yeah.
Who
Lincoln,
had-
Nebraska.
Who had that one?
Hey, Snoop, where do you want to be on 420? I'd say Lincoln.
Yeah, Lincoln. Where else?
we are kind of spoiled around here. We've talked about all the different venues, but the fact that we have Lincoln and Omaha battling for like rather well-known acts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Omaha's winning that battle right now. Lincoln's
Really?
Yeah, I was
Oh.
talking to some people at both
Wait a minute.
arenas.
You sit there and you see, because you go to PBA, you see all the advertisements.
Lincoln
They
is
have not Jason Derulo. What's one I saw that's coming in June? They were advertising at the basketball game the other night.
I'm
Just
not sure.
I thought he was no longer around.
Coming to Baxter or coming to see a
No,
child?
he's coming
he
to
died.
PBA. He's like a pop guy.
The Lincoln slate is just a little bit light right now. Omaha's winning on some things, it seems like.
Disturbed?
Like pizza. Oh yeah, Disturbed. Down with the Sickness. Did anybody get down with the sickness? Anybody you know get down with the sickness on Monday?
Yes, fall of 2000.
Yes, I had a friend. I told
did
the story on there. I had a
Yeah.
friend call me up. Haven't talked to him like in 3 years. Well, he texted me. He goes, "Hey, got any tickets for Disturbed?"
It's like, sure, but
I gave him the code to Tickets for Less.
Promo code
I
zone.
said, hey,
oh, nice.
he did get back to me yesterday. He said it was a great show.
I'm sure
I
it
bet it
was. I don't doubt it for a second.
All right, I don't know that we're winning here in Omaha. I think we might be even.
What do
This
we
is
got?
just
What do we got?
Hold on.
This is just based on conversations, from people.
Pantera is coming on Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day.
Now that's love. That's
Now
love.
you want to get into a mosh pit with effing Hostile? All right, let's go.
Jeff Dunham, who seems like he's always in
Yeah,
Nebraska.
yeah, it's his annual pilgrimage to
Greta
Omaha.
Van Fleet, Stain.
Yeah, don't forget about
Stains?
Mr. Josh Oslin's best friend, Frank Caliendo is coming to Omaha.
Oh, he is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, when?
Gary, were you thinking of Hosier?
March.
Hosier?
Yeah, we had a
Hosier.
caller come on and said it was Gary talking about Hosier.
Well, Disturbed was
Lincoln.
here this week. Hosier is coming to PBA.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
Hosier.
But
And
this
that's
is
what he meant.
But this
Rod
is what,
Zombie.
That's Take Me to Church. That's that band.
man, we are
Lauren
getting
Daigle,
we're getting kind of intense here.
Stain.
Stained. Nice. Sipple will be there.
So maybe PBA is becoming a little hardcore.
Isn't it Stained and Seether? Aren't
Yeah.
they together?
Oh, they're always
Yeah.
together.
That's Stephen.
They're
M.
always together.
That's Stephen M. Sipple will be in the front row.
I don't mind Seether. Seether's okay. Stained didn't have a lot for
I
him.
like Mud Shovel.
There's a there's a category of music that is seemingly coming back because it's part way nostalgia, and I don't know, the kids seem to enjoy it. It's called divorced dad rock.
Oh,
Formerly new metal.
And
Yeah.
and it's coming back.
The Eagles.
Chains,
Okay, this is for downtown.
I think Hinder
Eagles.
was here last year.
Oh, of course they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were actually. That is true.
The Lips of an Angel.
Lips of an Angel.
Yeah.
What was their
Use
other?
Me.
What was the? Yes, that was the other one. Just trying to think of the other hit they
Dr.
had.
Jordan B. Peterson, We Who Wrestle with God tour.
Interesting.
It's very popular.
Do you think that CM Punk is wrestling on that card?
Is this a wrestling thing or is this a show of some sort? Is
I
this a
don't- I
stand-up
don't think it has
comedy?
anything to do with
Maybe a rather religious.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not familiar.
All right.
Olivio Rodrigo.
Oh God, I thought you were gonna say Olivia Dunn.
Oh yeah, that's in Omaha, right?
Oh yeah, that's
Yes.
That's gonna be huge.
That's a good call.
That's gonna be huge. Guts, the Guts tour.
You look like somebody's read promos for these.
Maybe I've seen some. I've been inundated with the advertisement over the months.
So I can go to
But
Stained.
I am a fan of Olivia Rodrigo. She's legit good.
I'm intrigued by Stained.
So Stevie Nicks is coming.
I heard that.
Stevie's
I
back
went
again.
to watch fake
On my
Fleetwood
birthday.
Mac at the Steelhouse. Really, really good.
Yeah. Although
Fleetwood Mac, no Stevie.
people thought it was real Fleetwood Mac.
So it was fake Fleetwood Mac, and they were really, really good.
Fake Wood Mac.
I can't remember what their name was.
What do you mean? Like a cover band?
It was Fleetwood Mac.
But they were they
Rumors.
sold out this. Yeah, Rumors. They sold out the Steelhouse, and they were great. Sounded exactly like them.
Is this like Hairball for Fleetwood Mac?
Yes.
Fleetwood Mac.
But so Stevie on her own will be in Omaha.
Let's go.
Zach Bryan.
Of course, he's got to come back for his yearly appearance.
He does. He seems to come here a lot. Doesn't
He's
he?
here every year. I went last year at PBA.
I feel like Luke Bryan comes here a lot too.
Luke.
We love our country.
We do.
Cake in Lincoln in May. I forgot I was.
Oh,
talking
really?
about
See,
that.
here we go.
I could get
They
down with
rarely
Cake.
tour. I saw them in 04.
Yeah, they're something's going on in Lincoln. We're very angry. We got angry rock in
We
Lincoln.
do. So Pantera
Divorce-
was in
a lot of
Lincoln.
divorced
Pantera will be
dads.
in Lincoln.
Yeah.
Oh.
Love this.
Oh boy. Respect.
All right.
Are they still going to do?
What did
Is
you
Cake
say?
still going to do Going the Distance?
We'll have to.
They have to.
They'll either open with it or they'll close with it.
They'll close with it.
Jimmy's so confident on this.
We also have Barry Manilow here.
Oh, I thought he died too.
Bury the lead.
He's 80.
Yeah.
It's his final show, probably in Omaha.
Oh.
Barry.
No, that's how they promoted it.
That should
Yeah.
be the Valentine's Day concert.
They promote as it's his final show in Omaha, probably.
Well, that's what they want. Steven Tyler and the whatever, and they were like, "Yeah, this is it."
We think.
No, it's not.
Fallout Boy.
Nice.
You guys don't seem to be excited.
No, I'm in on that. I'm in
Dan
on
and
that.
Shay.
Fallout Boy, I'm fatigued because of Reese because they are the Spidey and His Amazing Friends soundtrack. And
Oh, I
so
know.
every little superhero, every Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends song, they have individual songs for it. It's all Fallout Boy.
Wow.
Journey.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to see Journey?
Everybody's going to want to see Journey.
Really good.
If you
Everybody
haven't
would wanna
seen
see it.
Journey by now, you probably missed the boat.
With the Vietnamese Steve Perry, they
Mhm.
sound great.
Yeah.
He sounds exactly like him. Tim McGraw.
I like Tim McGraw.
Faith Hill's husband?
Carly Pierce.
I don't know who
That
that
does,
is.
yeah,
Country.
I don't know.
I know Ricky Pierce is.
Lionel
Paul?
Richie with Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, that would
Okay.
be good.
All right.
Yeah.
And now, are we talking Omaha or Lincoln here?
And we're talking Omaha.
All right.
Sunday night with a little R&B
Ooh.
in your life.
Ooh.
Little Lionel.
Yep.
Then he goes off
I'd like
and does tapes a couple episodes of American Idol.
Yeah, it is American Idol. I had
Yeah.
to think of which one is on which.
Foreigner and Sticks.
Seen that concert.
with John Waite.
I saw that
Oh.
concert, I think 15 years ago, and they were doing, it was at the arena in Council Bluffs.
Yeah.
It was Styx, REO Speedwagon, and 38 Special. And it was
Oh,
awesome.
I bet there's a lot of Camaro and T-tops
It
there.
was awesome.
Yep.
It was
A lot of
awesome.
Trans Ams.
Yeah, for sure.
Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, the Doobies.
Lainey Wilson.
Yeah.
Pull up a picture of Lainey Wilson because I know you're looking at me like you don't know who she is.
I think I've heard the
So
name.
Oh,
she's Yellowstone.
Yeah.
But Lainey Wilson has a certain look.
Yeah.
She wears a nice hat.
Yeah.
She wears a nice hat. Look at her. She does love lots of hats, it appears.
Yeah, because she's the one from the end.
She was
right?
born 6 days before me. That would be my talking point when I met Lainey Wilson.
She's coming in November.
Hi, Lainey. You're 6 days older than me.
And then also
Lainey.
on the schedule, about a year from now, because we love our comedians here in Omaha. Like
true.
comedians must
Lot of
think they can
hats.
pack the CHI. So Sebastian Maniscalco.
Maniscalco. Yeah.
is coming.
Don't forget about Frank Caliendo too.
Yeah, we're
When
going
is
to
the,
No, but he
when's the
is he at the
Caliendo
Chi?
show?
March 2nd.
Okay,
March
March.
2nd. It's that he wants tickets to the Marquette game, and we got it. We got him for him.
We're going to the February Nate Borgazzi one.
Hold on. Back up here.
Yeah.
So is he just coming to town or is he performing?
He's
So he's performing. Yeah.
At the Chai or
At the
Funny
Chai.
Bone?
At the Chai, right?
I'd have to ask my wife. She bought
I
the
know
tickets
he's
when I was on
performed
the
at the Funny Bone before. It wouldn't shock me if he's at CHI, but I know he's performed at Funny Bone before.
She reminded me we're going that for your
Oh, it
birthday
is Funny
weekend.
Bone. I apologize.
Okay,
Yes,
I
that's right.
apologize. Yeah.
Okay, so this started.
We'll try to get him on.
Omaha is a very
Oh,
popular.
he's coming on our show.
Yep.
I think he's coming on our show twice in the next 2 months.
Really?
Because Josh has become best friends with him.
Is he coming in person when he gets here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Can he be part of the crossover?
Sure. Yeah. He seems super down for anything. So,
Yeah, I've never heard him on the radio. I don't think he likes doing that stuff. So it started like comedians love Omaha because the Funny Bone has been. It's one of the like last remaining.
we love to laugh. It's a laughter city.
But you know what? So Kevin Hart and Amy Schumer came here and they packed the CHI, and so now look at all these comedians that come here and think they're going to play before 14K.
Wasn't Sandler sold out?
Yes, he did too.
Yeah.
Didn't he? And then he got his Trey Alexander jersey and left. He definitely did some pickup runs too over at the championship
Mhm.
center.
Yep.
He's
Guy
getting after it.
he likes to knock down the bank shot.
He just loves hooping.
Yep.
I respect that so much. That's what I would do.
I couldn't figure out. He had a VCU jersey on like earlier in the month, and I had no idea what player it was. So he must have done a show in Richmond,
Gotcha.
and they hooked him up.
Yeah, they're like, here, take this. That's all we got.
Yeah, comedians like Omaha. They like to laugh with us and at us.
Of course. Of course. And we love laughter. We love to laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you read the responses to Elmo's tweet?
People are
That
struggling
was
right
I
now.
don't
not
think that's the case.
that was not representative of Omaha. If you sent that out to only Omahans, it would have been like, Elmo, I'm great. I love to laugh. Come to town.
We got
No, we
Nate
got-
Borgazzi coming twice.
Yep.
Oh, we got an email yesterday from some guy that said his street still hasn't been plowed. And I'm like, well, Mother Nature is
Yeah,
plowing
you're,
it.
yeah, you're good.
Yeah, man. It's dry. I don't know. You got problems if your street's still covered with snow.
He may live on one of those streets that has not been annexed yet, that does not have actually, it's just dirt.
And then of course, oh well, that's true. And it just does not get the good sunlight. It's well shaded.
No. Even if you don't get good sunlight, you got nothing on you. Like
Yeah.
the
I
street.
know immediately where I thought he lived. So, right around right around Countryside Village.
Mhm.
I don't think those people want you to drive on their roads, like on either side of Countryside
Yeah.
Village. They have potholes that have been there for ages.
Yeah.
The city's like, hey, we'll go fix it. Like, no, please
They
don't.
want people cutting through, and they just leave the streets bad.
You got to be familiar with the area
Yeah.
in order to dodge those suckers. You got to know what you're doing.
You guys think I'm kidding? Go over by Countryside Village to the left of where the breakfast place is moving in, Saddle Creek Breakfast Club.
Mhm.
The left of that, drive on that street and tell me if your car disappears in a pothole.
Okay, I got some time. This afternoon. I might go.
What's the pizza place over there? The wood fire pizza place over there.
Moots?
Yeah, I'm gonna go there anyway. So yeah, okay.
It's a good spot. I had them when they were just a truck.
A lot of trucks
I'm
are.
a Moots
a lot of
hipster.
trucks are becoming brick and mortar now. It's good.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, now it's a nice little family spot.
Everything Countryside Village is hot. It's hot
making a
hot
comeback.
right now.
It's making a comeback.
Everybody wants to go to Countryside Village.
Yep.
You got Timber Creek. You got sushi.
Mhm.
You got breakfast.
It's not just sushi though. It's like
Casual pint?
It's a whole experience.
Casual Pint's still there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's many of those like little kind of boutique stores.
Casual Pint, the most popular place for West Side class reunions.
I would
Makes
imagine
sense.
so.
Yeah.
It's right across the street.
And it has a variety.
Dude, Countryside Village. Watch out. Watch
Look
out.
at you becoming a District 66 guy. Welcome to the club.
Well,
What do you want to know?
Over my dead body.
What do you want to know? We got some expansion going on. Got a bunch of cool projects.
My alma mater has a
you're
strip
building
club.
like a giant swimming pool.
You guys do all you
Athletic Performance Center.
do what you guys want to do with District 66. My alma mater's got a strip club.
Yeah, maybe not for long. The
Yeah.
way it sounds.
Yeah. Gary's right though. He brought up. He's like, "Why is Millard? Why are they like?
I can't believe
why are
two
they-
fine
why-
Irishmen
why are
turned
they-
into a strip club.
Why are they linking Millard West to it? It's like, okay, I get it, the proximity,
this
but yeah,
was in
now
the
it makes it sound
news,
like it's like
this was in the news 2
the Millard
weeks
West
ago.
Strip Club.
And I mean, if you know Omaha, you know it's across the street from Millard West, but Millard West High School was never mentioned. And now, as they've gotten closer to trying to figure this out, all of a sudden Millard West gets mentioned.
They're like, oh, by the way, it's like 100 feet away from a school.
Yeah, it's really close to school students. We don't need that. They don't need that. No, it's not. It's not good for anyone.
I just saw another headline about that this morning.
They're
Yeah,
hoping-
that's yeah. It
they're
was.
hoping the Wildcats will come see the Cougars.
That's what I said. I was telling Gary, like the coolest thing about Millard West when it opened, we had like this. Now the convenience store things are like bigger in high schools, but we had like this little like cool like little snack area called the Cat's Den. I'm just thinking, wouldn't that be a great place? Wouldn't that be a great name for a strip club too? The Cat's Den.
New strip club in Shopping Plaza, the 180th and Q, has inspired a city ordinance designed to increase the city's ability to crack down on business owners whose establishments cause neighborhood problems.
Yeah. Those high school kids start wandering around there.
Rose said the ordinance does not target Club 180, the Bring Your Own Bottle Club that opened around Christmas time last year at 180th and Q.
Could you bring a glass from Bearded Brewer over there?
It's apparently it's the former Two Fine Irishmen.
Can bring my Crowler from Bearded Brewery over there?
I was like Two Fine Irishmen.
I did too. It was very sad because you guys know Mark Cranack. Mark Cranack and I were there on opening day of Two Fine Irishmen. They opened up on St. Patrick's Day. I can't remember the year, but we were there because we lived right by it.
And I assume you were there on the first day of Club 180.
I was not. In fact, I had no idea that I'm like, wait, when did Two Fine Irishmen close?
Oh, come on. You went over to 72nd. You're like, where did it go? I just miss Ed's commercials for the Two Fine Irishmen.
Oh, yeah, where he did the accent?
Yeah.
Yep.
Andrew,
I remember this.
I knew this, but this still bugs me. He said those streets by Countryside Village are the responsibility of the homeowners and not the city.
Wow.
Oh.
So they're their own.
They're skimping.
You take care of your own stuff.
Okay.
I learned my lesson one time driving through there.
I know this. If I'm a homeowner and I'm responsible for the street, I'm not going out filling potholes. I know that.
That's true.
I don't have the wherewithal, I don't have the steady hands or the technology to do something like that. Not filling any potholes. Not me.
I got to imagine that in that neighborhood, there's not a lot of houses that are for sale. But do you think that comes up? You think you say,
you gotta fill your own
by the way,
potholes?
you're going to have to fill your own potholes in front of your driveway.
And plow your own streets.
Yeah.
That would be
You got a tractor out there.
It'd be a pretty big deterrent, but I would be willing
That's a tax write-off.
I'd be willing to look away because of the location and the proximity to Countryside Village, a small town in the city.
It's very good.
Whatever happened to that commercial?
I don't know.
They need to bring that back.
Yeah.
What's the next little? What about whatever happened to Rockbrook? Are we bringing back Rockbrook?
Rockbrook has got the wine place that still does well.
Strike Zone, of course.
Yeah, Strike Zone's still going.
Of course, Strike Zone's still going.
Remember when
Can't get rid of Strike Zone?
Strike Zone was like the thing, and then they opened up UVA. And
I
it's
sure
like,
do.
Then Strike Zone's in the background, like, hey guys, we still exist.
Mm-hmm.
They'd get college baseball teams every now and then to come through there, though.
A little bit sad though, because Garden Cafe no longer exists.
Yeah, that was a great Garden Cafe.
But, Juniper is there.
Juniper
Indian restaurant.
Yes, very good
Jaipur.
too.
Jaipur.
Yeah, Jaipur. Why am I blanking on is it just called Corkscrew? Whatever the big wine place is there.
Yes.
It's like around the corner.
So they got rid of the one where I can't remember what it was called, but I went there and I had a really good Cuban sandwich. It's like kind of a nice little kind of lunch, dinnery type of whatever it was. It was a good restaurant.
Okay.
And it's gone. Very sad. Pretty much right after I ate that Cuban there.
Yes, very sad.
Why don't you go more often?
But did you ever go to the Garden Cafe?
No.
I did many times.
Lincoln was like super popular.
Oh, Garden Cafe was
just all of a sudden like Skeeter Barnes went.
I imagine
Skeeter. We had a Skeeter Barnes in Columbus, and we were so jacked.
So what was the?
It wasn't very good.
What was the pull to the Garden Cafe? Like what was special about
the potato bowls, and then they had amazing pies.
Yeah,
the Snickers pie was so good.
So it was like Cracker Barrel before Cracker Barrel.
Well, no, they appealed to a lot of older women that like to gab and sit there.
Yeah. It'd be like,
now that's Omaha.
If you're getting together, socializing and you're,
like if you
50 plus.
As a older adult want to take your mom to a place, she'd probably say Garden Cafe.
And you know why? Because every time we went on Mother's Day, and Rockbrook Village could not hold the parking lot. Like you were parked up.
I know
like,
they
up
put
the
speed
street.
bumps in there.
Yeah,
people driving through.
You were over at the Russell Speeders car wash and crawling through traffic to get there. I mean, it was
so way
crazy.
back in the day of the Nebraska Sports Network. Skeeter Barnes was a major sponsor.
Yeah,
and they had one location. It was like at 56th of Highway 2. Talent on air were required to eat there in person and pay your own way once a month.
What? And it wasn't good. Like they had one in Kearney.
Whoa!
Yeah, we had one in Columbus. Oh, trust me, we got excited because they kicked out a sports bar to have it. And I'm like, okay, cool, barbecue joint. It was not good.
You had to go in there and make sure you ate there once a month.
That's so and it wasn't on them.
It's so awesome.
Oh, you have to pay for it too.
It's so awesome.
I would just go and maybe have a beer.
The Garden
No, they
Cafe.
made you go there and have a meal and make sure that they knew that you stopped by.
Wow.
Okay, here I got one that says Garden Cafe was like wheat fields before wheat fields.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It's essentially the same thing.
I get the
good,
vibe.
Good breakfast, good pancakes.
Wheat fields without the politics.
The potato casseroles were really good though. Very, very good.
Potato casseroles.
Yeah, they're like they had like the little almost like scalloped potatoes.
I'd like to see
you could do like breakfast on top of it, or you could like soup it up with like chicken bacon ranch.
I'd like to see a new trendy restaurant, run a commercial or run a whole bunch of targeted ads on Instagram to people, and they're like, "Hey, check it out. We got a really sick casserole. Come get our casserole. It's the best in the city."
You know what?
You don't see that anymore.
I'd be one of the first in line.
It would be a really good niche, Everything's a sandwich now.
There is a place that is they sell nothing but casseroles.
Is that what it's called? Nothing but
casseroles? It should be
NBC?
called that.
No, what is it? There is a place here in town. That's all they do is sell casseroles.
I want to go there.
I love that.
Like right now.
Yeah.
It's so Omaha.
I want to support that place.
Very Midwest.
It is. Do you think they have like a breakfast one?
A salad that doesn't have lettuce or vegetables?
Now we're talking about
casserole to go.
Casserole to go?
Yeah. It's in Ralston.
I need to
casserole to go.
What do we got here?
Oh, people were talking about Summer Kitchen Cafe, which
they also have they're
or do we have any Summer Kitchen cafes left?
Yeah, we do. It's there's one on 132nd and Pacific, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the one on Maple?
Blondo.
The one on Maple that used to be there over by Eagle Run Golf Course?
No. I don't believe that one's there, but there is one I think still in Papillion.
RIP.
They also have a great potato casserole like the Santa Fe. Get the Santa Fe, get scrambled eggs on top of it. One of the better breakfasts you're going to have.
Across from Costco on 120th.
What
is a Summer Kitchen Cafe?
Is that one's still open?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last time I went there, somebody forgot to take the lint thing out of their clothes, and so
stuck to them.
They walked by and it popped right out while we were sitting there waiting for a table.
What do you mean across from Costco?
Did it come out of like their sleeve or their pants?
120th.
Yeah, 120.
So you know where you like that developed like where Cabela's is?
Menards?
No.
Or are you talking about the West Costco?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
Costco.
that's the Papillion one. That's the Summer Kitchen. That's the Papillion location. Yeah.
Got it. I know about that.
The Costco that is a lot more manageable to get in and out of.
I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware.
Man, I'm trying to figure out what I can get at Casserole to go because this is breakfast casserole.
My man's over here looking for casserole.
I know you guys got me thinking about it. I can just go for a good breakfast casserole right now.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Thank you, Daniel. The place I was searching for earlier that had the Cuban was the Hunger Block. That place was awesome. I like that place.
No longer exists?
No, gone. I don't know if they
didn't they have a spot downtown too?
Yeah,
I don't know.
They did. Yeah, I think so.
Well, they might still be there, but they're not at
If you would have gone to
Rockbrook
got,
Village.
A regular.
I should have got it.
You would have kept.
Somebody should have put me onto the Cubans earlier. I was looking for Cubans, and I was told about the Hunger Block.
Well, that's usually frowned upon.
No,
you're talking about the sandwich.
He was looking for Cuban sandwiches.
Okay.
Just do not. I learned this in Miami. If you are going to the same place to get a sandwich and your cigar,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
It's a good lesson.
Smuggling in Cubans there, man. Jeez.
Yeah, you got to keep them separate.
Don't be like.
I like that.
Don't be like.
They might be next to each other, but you can't. Like when you go up to the counter, they can't have like a.
Can I get a Cuban and a Cuban?
Yes.
Do they roll crepes?
I like that rule. I like that.
It makes me think of the Seinfeld one when he thinks he's bringing in Cubans. He's actually sending actual literal Cubans, but they end up being Dominicans.
The bit of Kramer being obsessed with Cubans for the entire show is pretty great. Burn down a cabin.
Yeah, with the Cubans.
With the Cubans. Had to go visit the Bubble Boy.
Oh, I didn't know this. Jim says the same owner in politics at Garden Cafe and Wheat Fields.
I thought that was the case.
But Garden Cafe was not like, you didn't know that.
No, you didn't. No, you absolutely did not know that. No, you did not. There was no debating that.
Hey, by the way, you guys should be happy about Costco.
But the menu's very similar.
Where you live in this city.
I know.
You're getting one.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm very excited for this.
But you know what?
It's going to be a disaster.
It's going to be, yes, it'll be the new thing. So everybody will flock to it.
Yeah. So it's actually better for the people around 120th and Dodge.
Yeah.
Who use that Costco. Yep. The West Maple Costco is going to be a wreck.
I think they should out there where it will be very popular. They got to do the gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they also should put a Chick-fil-A right next to it.
My God.
That is made no sense.
Well, and then as something else is new out there at the one on Dodge, do a car wash as well.
Yeah. You know what? Let's make this parking lot even smaller and put Chick-fil-A.
Let's see how much we can back up Maple. This will be a lot of fun.
Nothing against Chick-fil-A or Tommy's Express car wash.
Hey, good for them. They all draw customers. That's why it's a pain in the ass.
They sure do. They have
many
customers.
The Chick-fil-A Costco in like a weekend, like right around lunch. Hell, it doesn't even have to be lunch. That's insane. Like, why would you even put yourself through that?
Wow, it was actually Daniel who suggested that Cuban back many moons ago on a crossover.
Nice.
Wow. Time's a flat circle. Okay, guys, enjoy your days. Whatever you find to eat this fine afternoon.
I need a casserole right now. I'm all about
somebody get my boy Nicky a casserole.
I need a casserole. I did call in. The place is legit, so you can head down there. Probably be there in 20 minutes.
Casseroles are us. What is it
Casserole
called?
to go?
Casserole to go.
Okay.
No, I met the owners. It's a big, like, booming business.
Nice.
And it should be in Omaha.
Yeah.
There's a lot of family reunions.
Are they
like
taking
casseroles?
bakes or?
See, that even better.
5520 Miller Avenue in Ralston. Put that in your phone.
But get it in the GPS right now.
Like if you own a casserole place, I don't think it's a sit-down place.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how it works.
It's called
You'd have
Casserole to
be really
Go.
Hungry.
Maybe they're just throwing.
It's not
out
just a clever name. It's called Casserole to Go.
But maybe they give you the whole.
Oh, so you just think it's a takeout.
You eat it in your car.
You go in there and you buy it and you go, hey, can you guys warm this
Yeah.
up?
Can you put it in your oven? Put my shirt in there too.
Yeah.
Have you looked at the menu yet?
You're supplying the oven.
I haven't. No.
You should.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I will.
Jimmy's excited about
Is there some good breakfast
They
options?
have, I went
Everything.
to a thing where when I first met them, is they catered part of it.
Okay.
They're legit.
Casserole.
I'm in.
A casseroletogo.com.
Oh,
It's just lots of free shout outs to the casserole
happening.
place.
It's happening.
All right, dudes.
See ya.
Have fun. Have a good call tonight.
Yeah, we got
Purdue?
the Lady Boilermakers in town.
Lady Boilers?
What's the spread?
I don't know. I saw that Purdue is like 2-7 in the league, so I don't.
So
think
Nebraska
by 13.
11.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what to expect from Nebraska on any given night. They might be good. They might be bad. I'm not sure.
Jazz playing?
That I don't know. I do not know. I assume she is. She rolled her ankle earlier in the season and was fine.
Any special promotion? Anything we have to look forward to if you're going to the game?
It's not Aussie night.
Voice?
Oh, tonight is my favorite halftime show. Would you guys like to guess?
Is it that guy that I saw last, the old guy that goes up on the thing?
It is not the Amazing Slonic.
Simon Says.
It's Simon Says. Steve Max.
Yes.
Simon Says guy. I love that guy. People give him a hard time, but I love when he plays Simon Says in front of everybody.
Do you play along?
I'm not allowed to play, unfortunately. But I love Steve Max. Steve Max is in town tonight.
Well, there you go. There's a good draw.
The master of Simon Says.
Will he be in Omaha tomorrow night then?
That's a good question.
It could be.
I don't know.
Well, he probably will do Lincoln tomorrow night.
So he'll do back-to-back.
He'll probably be.
How do you think he'll go over at a men's game that's going to be highly contested?
Not good.
Maybe better than the Superstars.
Oh yeah, that happened.
You think if the Superstars did like halftime at the Incarnate Word game, it'd be a different?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
People were so
maybe just not at the Creighton game.
People were
That's all.
so angry
of the Superstars.
The Superstars work for Florida A&M, not for Creighton.
That's true.
So yeah, Steve Max tonight. That's the point.
Awesome.
All right, that's the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. We'll come back and start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
But if you like trophies, that's great. I like sexy victories. I would rather have sex than have a trophy. Okay? That's just who I am. All right?
I think we could all
just
agree
like
on
the
that.
wide receiver from Wake Forest. People say that I like big-bodied women. That might be the case. I don't discriminate. Okay? I like big-bodied wide receivers. That's why I like the guy from Wake Forest. Okay, back to Iowa.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Warming up on Wednesday, though watch out for patchy dense fog and refreeze during the morning drive. Otherwise, expect mostly sunny skies with the southwest breeze, highs in the upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Hey, Connor, what's up? So, you're getting an Auto Express Lane certificate in less than a year?
I need to put my career in the fast lane.
And Jenny, in just 5 months, you earned a veterinary assistant certificate?
It's kind of a pet project.
JC, is that
blood? Yeah, I'll be certified as a phlebotomy tech in just 5 months.
A positive, JC? Earn a career certificate in less than a year. Get started at mccneb.edu/adults. Classes start March 7th.
This is me at MCC.
This is a sale so hot, Standard Heating and Air can only do it once a year. Right now, buy a Carrier air conditioner from Standard Heating and Air and get a free furnace. Now, that's a hot deal.
Where we do the things we do.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-659-8080. That's 1-800-659-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-659-8080. That's 1-800-659-8080.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
It's a celebration of love at Saul's Jewelry and Loan. Now through Valentine's Day, get 50% off a huge selection of jewelry. Diamond rings, 50% off. Gold chains, 50% off. Bracelets, 50% off. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. It's the celebration of love sale at Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C, or a multivitamin to get key nutrients. We've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. Happy Super Bowl to all who celebrate. John from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And with the big game this year, new customers, go to FanDuel.com/1620 and you can get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Whether it's the team that you like, whether it's a total you like, just go to FanDuel.com/1620 and take advantage today.
FanDuel always gives us great props, but of course, the Super Bowl itself is the game that ultimately decided what the props were all about. And there are going to be plenty for the big game. So just make that first $5 winning bet and get $200 in bonus bets if that bet wins. For new customers, just visit FanDuel.com/1620. That's FanDuel.com/1620. 21 plus in present in Iowa. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
The Creighton Blue Jays finish up a 3-game homestand with a Friday night special against the Butler Bulldogs. Pre-game coverage begins after unsportsmanlike conduct at 6, tip-off at 8. The Blue Jays Friday night on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
All right, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Jimmy Chavez with us for the moment as we transition to Josh Odson at some point.
It's a transition.
There will be, we're in a transition period. There will be a moment where Jimmy's here, and then the next moment, Josh will be here. That is coming up shortly.
It'll be like it never happened.
So, Jimmy, thanks for hanging out.
You bet, Connor.
You got any takes to get off while we let you here?
Let's see. Hat police, kind of agree with all there.
Okay, good.
I don't like the new Nebraska baseball hats.
Mm-hmm.
They have a look. They should stick with the look. I don't like the giant Jayhawk on the helmet. Never have.
Okay, good for you.
Wife doesn't like it either.
But I do
like the Jayhawk.
I like the script. You got the script shirt right there.
Oh yeah, I forgot I was wearing that today.
It's nice.
I was going to wear shorts.
I love what they do most of the time.
These are actually they're baseball fonts. So yeah, solid.
And they've incorporated some powder blue into their look now.
Even better, they did that after I left. I was looking forward to all the free powder blue stuff I would have gotten.
Now you got to be like a normie and just buy it.
Now I get a zone football. That's in my bag.
I'd say it's a win for you.
That's some t-shirts.
All right, so Jimmy's here for a little bit until Josh gets here. Had something to take care of this morning. Elsewhere on the show today, welcome to Car Wash Week Day 3. If you haven't gotten your car wash by now, you're going to get ready with all the other procrastinators that have not washed their car this week. I'll raise my hand. I'll include myself. But you're in Omaha. You're getting your car washed this week.
I went
Monday. You will feel some sort of a gravitational pull into that car wash at some point in the next couple days if you haven't already this week. So welcome to it. Robin Washut will join the show in a couple minutes. We'll talk about Nebraska basketball, their upcoming tilt with Wisconsin tomorrow night. Mitch Sherman will join at 11:30. It's Wednesday. The tweet bag is here. Get your questions in at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. You can also email them, Connor at 1620thezone.com in the Equitable Bank inbox. You can text them as well, 402-951-1620, and call that number on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. And you know what? We'll even take them over on the YouTube stream as well at 1620thezone.com or at YouTube/1620thezone TV.
And go to our website while you're at it.
Check it out
for stuff. Sign up for everything.
Sign up for stuff. There's tickets to things. There's the Pro Football Pick'em.
Somebody's giving away $5,000.
So many opportunities to just win free stuff over
All
at
in
1620thezone.com, which is pretty sweet in my estimation. So get your questions in for the tweet bag. We'll open that up at noon. And it is the final day of January, so a very special edition of Josh's Top 5 today, where we will introduce the top 5 poll questions of the month of January.
That's must listen.
It's one that I look forward to every single month, which I'm very excited for today.
Sometimes could do top 5 of a day.
Elsewhere on the show today, we'll get into the team sheets and the bracket matrix as our beloved local basketball teams have completed at least half of their conference slate to this point. So we'll check in as we head into the month of February. Where's Nebraska sit? Where's Creighton sit? What are the opportunities that are out there for them? We have some visual aids that are coming up for you on the stream for that as well. We'll look at the Greg Olsen situation in the broadcast booth. What might happen to him this offseason? Will he remain in the Fox booth? Looks like Tom Brady's kicking him out. So what'll happen to him? We'll talk our own crap on the Nebraska baseball block ends on their helmets.
Greg will always have the 7th floor crew.
We'll take a look at the Nebraska football roster as there's been like a roster update on the website. And happy birthday. There is a special birthday today. Jimmy, do you know what local celebrity's birthday it is today?
I do not.
That would be happy 48th birthday to Nebraska head football coach Matt Rule.
Whoa, I've been here 5 hours, and nobody told me that?
Happy birthday to Matt Rule. Number 48 today. We're just waiting until Brett McMurphy wishes him a happy birthday on Twitter, because it's not official until that happens. So yes,
He should go to the game tonight. Get a picture with you in your element working.
Now, if he were really in, he should. He'd be honored to. If we were really doing the sports radio topic, or if we were really like searching for the bottom of the barrel, Jimmy, we'd be like, hey,
that's called July.
We'd be like, hey, it's Matt Rule's birthday. What does Matt Rule need most for his birthday? What would you like to give him? Would you like to give him a really good, a 1,000-yard rusher? Would you like to give him Ndamukong Suh in 2009? But we're not. We're not doing that today. We'll leave it at that. Happy birthday to Matt Rule. As I think he actually already got his birthday wish.
I think you're setting it up. People are going to start
Go ahead.
commenting.
Fire away.
But that's okay, because you didn't bring it up.
He got a pretty good wish with Dylan Raiola, I think.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good early birthday present for him. All right, so we're off and running. The lineup powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Let's talk some Husker hoops and what to expect tomorrow. The rest of the way, we'll kind of look back at what Nebraska's accomplished so far and then look ahead as well with Robin Washut of Husker Online coming up on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Since 1972, family-owned and locally roasted Host Coffee Service has been roasting the finest coffee for businesses and restaurants. If you're ready to change to a better coffee provider, it's time for Host Coffee.
Omaha's best coffee since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Hey folks, Kent Pavelka again to tell you about your local concrete experts at Everlevel Concrete Repair. Now, if you have cracked, uneven concrete, Everlevel can fix it at a fraction of the cost compared to replacement. This is no Band-Aid. Their products are built to last. It gives your concrete the durable protection it needs, and there's still time. I chose Everlevel for my driveway, and I've got peace of mind with their long-term transferable warranty. Everlevel's products and customer service are top-notch, and that's why they've been voted Best of Omaha again this year. Say it with me. Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel.
The Eagles present The Long Goodbye, the final tour, live in Omaha. With special guest Steely Dan.
Are you reeling in the
The Eagles, CHI Health Center, Saturday, February 10th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. The Eagles, The Long Goodbye, the final tour.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill serves pizza with an unforgettable pizza sauce, fresh ingredients in unique combinations of bold flavors. Try customer favorites like the 3 Oinks and a Moo, the Mountain Man, or the Upset Grizzly Bear. There are daily specials and menu items like tacos, salads, wings, and burgers. Stop in and check out Timber Creek's family-friendly dining environment while enjoying a popular adult beverage. Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill at 178th and Harrison and at timbercreekpizzaomaha.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. ShopTicketsForLess.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
The biggest basketball coaching convention of.
And work on your skill set while you listen.
What?
You don't want them embarrassed. I'm talking.
What is going on? Robin, are you okay?
Robin Washut.
Are your kids near you, or what just happened?
Husker Online.
I took a lot of preparation to make this thing a flawless interview, and clearly I still can't avoid it.
Robin Washut. Husker Online.
Maybe it was aliens. Maybe it was a phenomenon that we can't explain.
The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
And we're joined now on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline by Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. Robin, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. It sounds like you're talking into a fan.
Really? That's weird.
Okay, now it cleared up. Like during the intro, like it was just like literally you were talking into a box fan.
Oh, there was there like an echo?
It was just like really choppy, but it's good now. Ever since the music stopped playing, it is clear as day.
So he doesn't like your intro, Connor.
Interesting. Well, no, I told Jimmy, because this is the first time he sat in on this interview before. I told Jimmy, I was like, hey, just, press this button. It's going to be kind of disorienting. It's not a real like normal open. You're going to wonder what's going on for a second. I saw him start to kind of reach toward the mouse. Like, whoa, what's going on here? No, that's just how the open goes.
Well, it's a good thing that's all cleared up. Now we can get down to business.
All right, let's talk some hoops. There's a big one. There's a big one tomorrow for Nebraska basketball. But let's sort of flash back to the weekend first, and really, I guess the body of work up until this point before we look ahead. Like, we definitely always break it down to, hey, they play this way at home and they play this way on the road, and there's definitely circumstances that make that the case for Nebraska basketball. But like, what is it that makes them this sort of drastically different team on whether it's home or road or just a night-to-night basis? Their inconsistencies really, really shine through just on a game-to-game basis. Like, have we gotten to the bottom of what it is for them?
No, which is why it continues to happen and is getting more and more apparent, that split every single game. It's pretty remarkable that they can look so good and look like a team that can compete with and beat anybody in the conference inside of Pinnacle Bank Arena, and then as soon as they leave and go play somewhere else, it looks like they're one of the bottom feeders of the league. And until they get some semblance of stability between playing at home and playing on the road, that's going to define their season. They got a great opportunity at home against a top 6 team in the country coming to PBA, but those wins only carry so much weight if on Sunday they go to Illinois and lose by 30. So it's like that's kind of been what this year has been all about for this team, to where they've got some signature victories, but for the most part, outside of Kansas State, which by the way is now dropped down to a quad 2 game, they don't have really any of those feather in the cap victories away from their home arena. And when it comes to Selection Sunday, those are so critical. It's just to show that you're not just a one-trick pony that has the benefit of a home court advantage, that you can go other places and compete with not even top teams, but mid-level teams, and win those types of games. And so far, they've come close, but they found one way after another to lose those games, with the Maryland game being the worst example yet.
Well, schedule-wise, it's people are going to have to hold on for dear life here, because this game tomorrow is not easy, and like you said, they go to Illinois after that, and they have a tough one at Northwestern after that. So that's 3 in a row where you could lose them, and it wouldn't be terribly damaging to you. But then you would look up at your record, and it would say that you're 15-9 and you're 5-8 in the league, and instead of trending toward that top half of the league, you'd be trending toward that, closer and closer to that bottom half and that bottom 4. Like this is a challenge, not only for people and how they sort of pay attention to Nebraska basketball, but also the team. And Fred's mentioned it time and time again this year. Like, they maybe have a little bit of a difficult time. They hear some of the noise and whatever. If they lose their next 3, which means they would have lost 4 in a row, that noise gets pretty loud. But Robin, like, everything in perspective, they'd still be in okay position to pick up some wins down the stretch. Like, I wonder how they balance that over the next week or so.
Yeah, and I mean, that's where you would hope that having such a veteran, experienced roster would allow you to handle that better than maybe some other groups where you haven't gone through things like this before. But these next 3 games, really, I'll go back to the Maryland game. That 4-game stretch was really in a lot of ways, the last real daunting run of the schedule. And so I think the hope going into it was that you could just keep your head above water, at least win 1, and hopefully win 2 of those 4. The Maryland game was one of those that you thought they could get, and they lost that game by 22. So how do they respond? They've made a living off bouncing back off of ugly losses with really good wins.
Yep.
After Minnesota, they beat Michigan State. After Wisconsin, they beat Purdue. After Rutgers, they beat Northwestern. So you have another one where you have an opportunity here to get a top 10 win, your second of the season, and you win that game. All of a sudden, if you go and lose to Illinois and even lose the next 2, you're still feeling okay about where this team is, because you have another signature victory, and you've lost games on the road that you probably weren't really expected to win anyway. But then if you do only get 1, or even if you go over during that 4-game stretch, that puts so much onus on the rest of the way, where yes, the schedule does lighten up, but you have 0 wiggle room. I mean, if you're trying to solidify your tournament resume off that final stretch, there's not a lot that's going to move the needle in terms of defining your resume. Sure, they may have another quad 1 opportunity at Ohio State, but really that's it at this point. So if they don't take advantage of kind of the big time opportunities over these next 3, then they have to be darn near perfect all the rest of the way. And yes, the sledding is going to be a little easier, but there's 0 room for slip ups. Like, you can't afford to have a bad night if you're going to make sure that you're still in position to get to where you want to go.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely one way to look at it. It's it'll be tough for people. I mean, because you know this, Robin, and this is sort of a commentary on like I said, how people take in Nebraska basketball. But like, people are going to have a hard time hanging in there, I think, if they don't find a way to win any of their next 3. I think it's already pretty difficult, even though, like, you would ask me before the Saturday game against Maryland, everyone would have told you, yeah, they're in a great position right now. I mean, if they just do what's asked of them, then they'll be probably an NCAA tournament team. But all of a sudden it starts stacking up on you really quickly. I just, like, it could get the conversation and the noise could get really interesting if they don't find a way to win one game in the next week. They play Northwestern next Wednesday. And, for all that Fred Hoiberg talking about the noise, the outside noise, it gets really loud.
Yeah, and that's Nebraska for you. And really, that's kind of the nature of the beast of this level of basketball. I mean, look at what's going on at Ohio State right now. I mean, they want Holtman tarred and feathered right now, and he's had a lot more success over his career than what Nebraska's had. So that, it's just kind of what you deal with. But beyond the conversation of, I guess these next three and that 4-game stretch, including Maryland, right now Nebraska's picked to win 5 of their final 7. So they're the tenor can change quickly. So you lose, worst case, you lose your next 3, and you're riding a 4-game losing streak, and all of a sudden the season looks like it's in the trash can. And what happens when you win 4 in a row? Then you're going to Ohio State with a chance, to get another quad 1 win. I mean, that's just kind of the ebbs and flows of basketball. And I think for a lot of times around here, people view basketball with a football mentality, where every game is just like this defining, 1 a week opportunity. When, like 31 games here, and then you have a conference tournament on top of that. So stretches of failure, like what could potentially happen over these next 4. That's just part of the deal a lot of times, Nebraska, especially for a program that's in the situation Nebraska's in, where they're trying to get to that point where they can have sustained success. But with that comes just as much opportunity for them to get on a hot streak, just like they did last year. And the schedule becomes a lot more favorable, and you can stockpile wins and get that momentum back on your side just as easily as you could lose it over these next 3.
What is the status of Jawan Gary for tomorrow?
Unclear. In about 10 minutes or so, we're going to walk over to PBA here and get the latest. Interesting thing for him, because he was a literally pre-game decision coming back off that initially off that injury versus Ohio State, and then before Maryland he was ruled out before they even left town. So who knows? There's a lot of layers there. It's an injury where, it wasn't an Achilles tear, but it's still a fairly significant injury. Joe Burrow had that, and he missed significant time. So you never know how calf strains are going to respond. Then there's the mental side to it, where he's a guy that's suffered multiple season-ending injuries over the course of his career. When he felt that pop in his calf, I'm sure that shook him up a little bit. So now it's the matter of rebuilding that trust to play with the dynamic kind of explosiveness without being hesitant about, either re-injuring yourself or injuring yourself even more. So that's another part to it. And then, obviously there's rumors about other stuff going on. Have no clarity on that whatsoever. Maybe we'll get some today. But either way, at this point, I'd probably be surprised if he plays tomorrow, and then we'll kind of see where he is going forward.
Yeah. Robin Washut of Husker Online is with us. Okay, I get this. This is maybe an interesting question. If you could grant this team like an ability, or like this is my way of asking, what's the kind of missing piece for them? And we talked about like why, maybe some thoughts on why they're not able to look the way they look at home out on the road. If you could like grant them the ability to like have something consistently, something that you can kind of lean on, what is it? Knowing what you know already about this group, and I guess projecting a little bit going forward.
True point guard. A guy that when things start to turn on you on the road, you have that player that can settle things down and make sure that your offense doesn't start getting sped up, and you could start making bad decisions with the basketball. Because it seems like when Nebraska's road struggles, there's a common theme where when the other team starts to get things going, Nebraska tends to make things even worse for themselves with self-inflicted mistakes. And I think a lot of times it's because they have guys that are trying to do too much. They're over penetrating into the lane. They're just making decisions without much of a plan of where to go with the ball. And that leads to turnovers and fast break opportunities. the avalanche starts to get going on him. So, you go back to what made Sam Greasel so good is he was a guy that was never going to get out of control. When things started turning on him, he wasn't going to try to turn the game into a track meet and erase a 10-point deficit on one possession. So I think that's kind of what they're lacking right now. They don't have a true point guard on their roster, and especially in those situations on the road when the momentum shifts away from them, they don't really have that guy that can just put the ball in his hands and say, all right, let's settle down, run the offense, and go get a bucket. And that's a pretty critical piece not to have in this conference on the road.
That is probably where a lot of the issues that you see end up stemming from. We talk often about this team, on the emotional side of things, and it's becoming more and more of a conversation. But if you have that guy who could settle things down a little bit, and it doesn't. I would say this, Robin. Like, I don't think it has to be a point guard. I think, just having a guy like that on the floor who can either get you a bucket or sort of be the kind of general and calm things down. I don't know. Is their best option in that category Bryce Williams at this point?
Yeah, he's one of them. And, he's with Jamarcus, like, he'll have flashes of doing that, but there's been more so of him just kind of having trouble keeping that control of the game. And so then, who's your next best facilitator? It's Rink Mast. And so you're talking about your center, which is like last year where Derek Walker was a pivotal piece, but that's just so much to put on one guy where you got a team that struggles to rebound on the road. And then you're asking your best rebounder to also be your best half court facilitator. I mean, that's a lot to put on one player, especially when he's, out of the game in foul trouble or needs a break or whatever. Like they don't have a lot of secondary options beyond those two right now. And, there's a reason that was the biggest concern for this team going into the year. And they really never addressed it. Their solution was to, have Jamarcus Lawrence play a position he'd never played before and then go get a guy in August out of the transfer portal in Boogie Coleman, who's now not even a factor in the rotation. So, they kind of got to make do with what they have at this point. Bryce Williams is certainly one of their better options. Rink Mast is the guy that can help in that regard. But they need somebody else, whether that's Sam Hoiberg or Lawrence or whoever. The situation at point guard is probably the biggest issue in potentially keeping them from their postseason goals.
Yep. Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. Okay, Robin, we'll let you go. Thanks for taking the time as always, my friend, and we'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. See you.
Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. That's a big one tomorrow against Wisconsin. And what will we find out about Jawan Gary today? Is he hurt? Because it seems like he was going to play, or he was getting very, very close against Ohio State. It seemed like that was like Robin said, it was a pretty true game time decision. And so there was the expectation that he would play against Maryland, and he was ruled out beforehand on that. So is there something else going on? And is that something, if there is something else going on, is it over? Like, is it, if it's a suspension, is it just one game or is it two games or whatever it might be? Maybe Fred Hoiberg will give us some more clarity on that here in just a couple minutes. Josh is here.
Hello, all.
Welcome, Josh.
Just like you said, 1 minute, Jimmy's going to be here, and the next,
bada bing,
gone.
He's here. Mitch Sherman will join us in just a couple minutes at the bottom of the hour. He wrote a good piece on local recruiting and how it's sort of ballooned and taken off. We'll talk to him in a few minutes, but come back. We'll introduce Josh. We'll say hello to Josh, and we'll hit a couple other things before we get to Mitch on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
The 20th ranked Omaha Maverick hockey team is coming off an overtime road sweep against St. Cloud State. This Friday and Saturday night, Maverick hockey takes on Minnesota Duluth at Baxter Arena. And the Maverick men's basketball team, with the second most wins in the Summit League, is making a run at the league title. The Mavs tip off against second place St. Thomas this Thursday. Let's pack the Baxter. Get your hockey and basketball tickets now by calling the box office at 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tics.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. Are you the decision maker in your company? Do you want more control over your business spending? Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management platform designed to save you time and money. Ramp offers unlimited corporate cards with spend controls you can customize to stop wasteful spending before it happens. Ramp makes expense reports a breeze by automatically collecting receipts and matching them to the right transaction. You'll close your books in hours instead of days. Ramp allows you to see all of your company spend in one place, so you can make quick, informed decisions about your business finances. Plus, Ramp will share insights based on your spending to help you cut costs. Over 15,000 businesses have added up to 5% to their bottom line with Ramp. You can be one of them. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
The Creighton Blue Jays finish up a 3-game homestand with a Friday night special against the Butler Bulldogs. Pre-game coverage begins after unsportsmanlike conduct at 6, tip-off at 8. The Blue Jays Friday night on 1620 The Zone and 101.9 The Keg.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, before we get to Mitch here, I know we discussed this a little bit in the crossover, but I have seen the content being put out by the Nebraska baseball team as they've begun practices, and they have their poster and everything. And many of you have noticed on Twitter that their hats have a big block in on them. Matt Rule has worn this hat from time to time. And we also know that Trev Alberts has, check it out, Josh.
Okay.
We also know that Trev Alberts has done a lot of work, a lot of hard work. He talked about it the other night on the radio show in terms of sort of contracting the Nebraska brand and having one logo for everybody. And, we had all these different teams with all these different logos and kind of different looks to them as well. And they found that it basically makes them more money, when they have only the one thing to sell. Basically, hey, we are Nebraska. This is our logo. And their logo is, their school logo is the block N. And there's a lot of different things that you could do with that. But what we have known for Nebraska baseball for a long time now is the skinny N, kind of like it is on the football helmet, although I believe there are some serifs on the Nebraska, the formerly known as Nebraska baseball hats.
Vocab word.
Yeah, right. That's what those are called. The little edges on them, the lines on them, serifs. It's not just a flat end like it is on the football helmet. And in an effort to continue to contract the brand and make it one size fits all, it appears as if Nebraska baseball has gone to the block N on the hat, the giant block N on the hat. And I'd like to say that sucks. It's horrible. It's bad. And I understand what they're trying to do. You're trying to make everybody look the same and all that stuff. The Nebraska baseball look over the past several years has really, really rapidly deteriorated.
Okay, so you're wanting something like what's on the sleeve.
You'd have to show me. I don't know what you're looking at.
I'm looking at the baseball schedule graphic that got tweeted out.
Okay.
The top right pitcher, he appears to have a N on his right shoulder.
Okay.
Or I guess right bicep.
The poster or the schedule?
Okay. The schedule graphic they tweeted out yesterday morning.
Yes, that is that exact N that they have been using. Yes, okay. That is the N that they have been using on their hats.
Okay.
For a long time now, and they're good hats. I have a couple of them. It's clearly like Nebraska baseball, and now what they have done is they've thrown the block N onto the baseball hats, and I'm mad about this, Josh. I'm mad.
I agree with you, but can I ask why you don't like the block N on the helmet?
Doesn't look
on the hat.
It just doesn't look like baseball to me.
Okay,
I don't know how to explain it other than that.
Because I feel the same way as you. I just don't know how to, and this is terrible for radio, verbalize how I feel.
Verbalize this, explain this. I will say this,
I don't know why I don't like it.
So now the only place that the skinny N exists in our world is on the most prominent item that we have, which is the Nebraska football helmet. So if we're contracting the brand, Trev, if we're really doing this, you know what it's time to do?
Whoa.
It's time to change the helmet.
Careful.
It's time to put the big old bulky N on the helmets. Right? That's what we're doing. And Nebraska football can't live separately with all these other things.
No, let's not do that.
No, I don't agree with that either, Josh, but I'm just applying logic to all of this. I'm just applying the logic that we all know to all of these things.
Don't force Trev's hand like that.
Okay. Just bring back the skinny N. It's all I care about. That's all I'm thinking about.
Like the script lettering, like you're not going to use that anywhere else. Like baseball can be different because it thrives on whether it be a faux vintage or an actual vintage.
Maybe there's
aesthetic.
Maybe there is a period of contracting, and then there is another period which is yet to come of expanding back out. Maybe that's where we go.
You know, Trev is listening. Trev is always listening, whether it be literally to the show or to the fan base.
Trev, I love many of the things that you've done. This is a horrible move.
Maybe if we just not buy the hat, they'll go, ooh, the hat sales are down. What are we doing wrong?
You made them bad. That's what happened. Charles says, do not like block N. Ryan says, the duality of Connor going from serifs to that sucks. Sometimes you just got to say it, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need a whole lot of words. You don't even need fancy words to say what you actually believe. It stinks. It's no good. Fred Hoiberg's talking right now, so we'll see if there's any updates that come through on one Jawan Gary. But as Robin said, is there an expectation that he plays tomorrow or not? We will see. Coming up next, Mitch Sherman wrote a good story about coaches descending upon the Omaha metro area to recruit, highlighting a few local players at Millard South and what they're going to be doing this fall to continue to expand their profiles. We'll touch on that and a couple of the roster movements to be had over the last couple of weeks with Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Coming up next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But first, a reminder from our friends from the FanDuel Sportsbook. Happy Super Bowl to all who celebrate. I assume you are one of them. From FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you're like me, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some big old bets. That's what I'm all about, and you need to be all about it as well. Tons of ways for you to pick up a dub on the FanDuel Sportsbook during the Super Bowl. There is an anytime touchdown score. There's a first-time touchdown score. You can bet on the coin toss. You can bet on the straight-up money line and the points. The 49ers are slight favorites at the moment. Maybe you'll like the underdog. If you do or if you don't, you have options on the FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel is offering this. New customers joining today you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Once again, $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Head to FanDuel.com/Happer and sign up. FanDuel.com/Happer. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over present in Iowa. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
An attorney over in Iowa named Van Plum is now requesting the state of Iowa.
Name.
Okay, I shouldn't. See, here's a serious story, and you guys are hung up on Van Plum.
That's a character in the board game Clue. Van Plum did it in the office with a club stick.
What's a club stick?
I don't know. I couldn't think of anything.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A day to get out and absorb some sunshine today with temperatures climbing all the way up to the mid-50s. Cloudy skies working their way in overnight will start tomorrow with a temperature in the mid-30s, but temperatures yet again rising into the mid to upper 50s, but this time with cloudy skies. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery. KETV Newswatch 7.
Whoa, Sandra. So, in less than a week, you'll have
my forklift operator certificate.
And Joseph, you're quick to
respond? Yeah, with my degree in paramedicine, I'll be a
first responder? Cool. Bella, where are you off to?
Just knocking out my gen eds before
transferring to the university? Smart way to say, Bella. Get up to speed with your me time. On campus, online, on your schedule. Get started at mccneb.edu/me. Classes start March 7th.
This is me at MCC.
This is a sale so hot, Standard Heating and Air can only do it once a year. Right now, buy a Carrier air conditioner from Standard Heating and Air and get a free furnace. Now, that's a hot deal.
StandardAC.com, where we do the things we do.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Down the 7.
The Eagles present The Long Goodbye, the final tour, live in Omaha. With special guest Steely Dan. The Eagles, CHI Health Center, Saturday, February 10th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. The Eagles, The Long Goodbye, the final tour.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
If you're having problems in the bedroom, talking about it is the last thing you want to do. Same goes for hair loss, anxiety, or even depression. That's where HIMS comes in. Through HIMS, you don't have to talk about it. You can do something about it. Just go to hims.com/start, where you can find a variety of potential solutions for the problems men face every day and save up to 95% on generic alternatives. The entire process is 100% online, making it incredibly simple, straightforward, and above all, private. If prescribed, treatments made using clinically proven ingredients are shipped directly to your door in low-key packaging. So if you're experiencing ED, hair loss, anxiety, or problems with your general health, you don't have to go to the doctor or the pharmacy or spend all day talking about it. Just go to hims.com/start and do something about it. Get started today at hims.com/start. That's HIMS.com/START.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic.
He can play. And we need people that can play.
And we'll never be royal. Let me live that fantasy.
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic. On the Connor Happer Show. On 1620, The Zone.
We're joined now on the 42 Degrees The Source hotline by Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Mitch, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Connor. I'm well. How are you?
Good. I was reading your story this morning on the local recruiting scene, specifically over at Millard South. It's sort of an interesting look on really, I guess, the metro and the state, and how there's all these players now. And it's funny the way we think about it too, Mitch, because we don't like it used to. We used to kind of know who the players were going to be and where they were. You know, if they weren't on the radar before their senior year, they're probably going to like group of 5 at best, maybe FCS. And now we're very, very used to a handful more Power 5 players every single year. And it seems like that is only rising. So it was a pretty good look into what's going on at not just Millard South, but just in the metro in general as coaches continue to recruit it really hard.
Yeah, I think it's indicative of like you said, of what's happening around the state of Nebraska, but really around the metro. And, you know, I think the closer that these schools and these players are, the more access they have to the Warren Academy. And, you know, I'll single them out because I think they're doing the most by far to prepare high school athletes to be recruited and be viewed as prospects in college. But of course, there's other training centers out there and ways that players are getting ready. There's just more readiness in the state of Nebraska, and especially in the Omaha area, to be able to go and play at a Power 5 program than there has been at any time. I mean, you can go back to periods of history and around Omaha where there were a great run of football players or basketball players. You know, I think of the 90s with athletes coming out of Omaha every year and in both sports. But the consistency that we're seeing now, you're seeing quarterbacks in just about every class, which is something totally new. Receivers, the tight ends in the state of Nebraska per capita, I think are compare favorably to most of the rest of the country. You know, you can't say that yet per capita. Even as the state of Nebraska gets upwards of like 12 to 15 Power 5 prospects in one cycle, that's a lot. And, you know, if you expand that out by population, it would, they're not embarrassing themselves. The state of Nebraska, it's now doing well. It's doing better per capita than most low population states, but it's still not on the level per capita of like a Georgia or Florida. But with tight ends, it is. And we see a couple of those guys at Millard South, including Chase Lofton, who has emerged after his junior year upon his transfer from Elkhorn North to Millard South as one of the fastest rising guys in the country, I'd say. He was at USC last weekend. He'll be at Alabama this weekend. And just in the last few days, Nebraska's been in to see him. Actually, Nebraska was also in to see Jet Tamala, the quarterback. They can take a look at him. But Penn State, Florida State, Auburn were all in and offered last week to Lofton, the 25 tight end.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, I don't know if it's the final step to this, but if we're talking about Omaha sort of arriving as a place where, you know, coaches are going to make that a stop every single year, that's already kind of happened with the amount of talent that there is. But the cementing piece to that is having a Power 5 level quarterback that people are going to sort of battle for. I don't think we're that far away. Maybe there's a couple in this class. We've seen a couple go to the group of 5 level, but you feel like that's coming for the city. Like, I don't know what that means, but it does cement, I think, Omaha is a place where you can come and find good players, and there's enough to go around. Like, they don't all have to go to Nebraska.
Yeah, the quarterbacks, they bring in attention for everyone else. And it's working the opposite way at Millard South right now because Lofton is older than the 3 2026 players that include the quarterback, Jet Tamala. So Lofton is bringing in the attention that some of those younger guys might not see and helping generate interest for them. But by and large, the quarterbacks, and you saw it with Zane Flores, you saw it with Danny Kalin the last 2 recruiting cycles at Gretna and Bellevue West. I think you saw it at Westside, you know, even though Anthony Rizak didn't get a Power 5 offer and, you know, he's walking on at Notre Dame with his brother, you know, people were interested to come in and see him and the athletes around him. And you know, there were There was a ton of them, of course, at Westside the last couple of years, and I think Westside will continue in that on that path. But Millard South could be the favorite on the football field next year, and certainly right now has the biggest group of high impact offensive players with the 4 who I wrote about this week, and they all visited Nebraska a couple of weeks ago on a junior day together. So it's interesting, and the quarterbacks are a big part of it.
We've seen this a little bit more now over the last, I guess, decade or so, where and this is what Millard South is going to do this fall. They're going to take the show on the road, and they're going to go to Phoenix and play a big school from out there. We've seen it a little bit more, and it usually, like, just, I guess anecdotally, Mitch, it feels like the Omaha schools, if they want to, if they have the resources and whatever it takes to sort of put that together, and of course they feel like they have a team that can compete, they'll do it, and they'll usually, it seems like, have success. I wonder what that does for the recruiting scene throughout not just that school, but also sort of the city and the metro area as well.
Yeah, it's not real common. I mean, Westside and Bellevue West has been open to doing it, but it becomes a scheduling thing.
We've seen it more in basketball.
Right. You certainly do. And it's easier in basketball because you have a much smaller roster, and you can play in these tournaments where you get a lot of bang for your buck because you can travel to a different state and play multiple games on a weekend. Westside did play St. Thomas Aquinas from Overland Park, Kansas, a big power program in a border state. I think that was in the COVID year. I think, if I remember right, but regardless, that was kind of a one-off. This situation next year and in 25 is unique with Millard South and Ty Wisdom, the coach there, who was a head coach at 2 programs in the Phoenix area and got to know the coach at Basha High School in Chandler, Arizona. And Basha is a power program nationally and always a contender in the open division in the state of Arizona, which is like just the large division. Nebraska should have an open division where, Bennington could play against Elkhorn South or Lincoln Southeast.
Yeah.
That's another discussion for a different day. But Bash is the team that beat Dylan Raiola's Chandler team twice in the same season, in Dylan's junior season. And Ty Wisdom was at those games. He's close enough with that coach at Basha that when he had opportunities to go fly to Phoenix, he would go watch them play, and he saw those games, and then they were able to schedule the 2 programs, Millard South and Basha, a home and home. So the Patriots will be in Arizona next year, and there's a huge benefit because as Ty told me, Arizona State, Utah, they're always going to have eyes on that school, and they're going to want to know what's going on with the players at that school. And if you're Millard South and you go in there and you've got a bunch of Power 5 prospects, then those coaches are going to see your players too. And, Wyoming, for instance, is playing at ASU the weekend that Millard South goes to Basha. So Wyoming will likely have coaches out in the Valley that night. Maybe they come to that game. And then those Omaha kids are on the film that the Basha prospects are sending around, and somebody might get noticed that way. So, and the year after, Basha is going to come to Omaha and play at Buell Stadium. So there's a lot of benefit to it. There's a lot of cost involved.
Definitely.
And it's something that I think a lot of coaches don't want to do and aren't willing to do because it's hard. It's a challenge, and they would just rather, go with the status quo. But if you want to go to the next level and take things to a new level, push some limits as a high school program, and I think Nebraska could do more of that. Programs in Nebraska could do more of that. Then this is one way to accomplish that.
With all this, Mitch, do you feel like it maybe softens the burden a little bit on whoever is the Nebraska football coach, in this case, obviously Matt Rule, to like feel the need to get every guy, and they've also approached it from a different angle, and they're really confident in their evaluations and all that stuff like that. But now there's going to be so much in the competition for it. I'm talking about players in the metro or players in the state of Nebraska is going to be higher and higher and higher every single year. Like, I guess the old school thought of like, hey, if there's a Power 5 guy in the state, he needs to go to Nebraska. It doesn't necessarily hit that hard anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people are still going to have that way of thinking, or still going to subscribe to that logic, and to a certain level, you don't want to compromise if you're Nebraska and say, well, hey, it's okay if we miss on certain players. No, you want to get them. I mean, for Nebraska to get Carter Nelson in the last cycle, for Nebraska to get Tyson Terry in this next cycle, I mean, those are must wins in recruiting, and they're battles that Matt Rule and his staff have been able to win. But there's still, I mean, Christian Jones at Omaha West Side. He's another guy who you put in that must get category. Same thing with Lofton, but at Millard South. But you're not going to get all of them. And look around the country. There are not nobody gets every player in their state. I mean, Georgia notoriously misses on a ton of players from its own state, and they're doing okay competitively. So as more schools, and the reason for that, the reason that Georgia can afford to do that is because they can go to California, they can go to New Jersey, they can go to Michigan, they can go to Washington State, wherever. They're a national program in the way that they recruit, and have just as much sway as they do with the player in Atlanta. And then the state of Georgia, the borders are open. Everybody in the country recruits there. And that's not yet the case in Nebraska. Not everyone is coming into Omaha, but certainly a lot more than used to be. You did not used to have a Thursday morning in January where a Penn State coach and a Florida State coach walked into a gym at Millard South. And, USC was here the week before, and USC's coaches have told Ty Wisdom at Millard South that this is not a one-off, that they're going to continue to recruit players in this part of the country, in Omaha and populated areas. And I'm sure if there's a Carter Nelson in a future cycle, they'll go after him too, because in part, the school is joining the Big Ten.
Yeah.
This is now part of their conference affiliation. So it's going to get even more competitive. And there's a reality that exists moving forward, that you're just not going to get every one of them. Even if Nebraska greatly improves its win total on the field, you're still going to miss on some kids, even in your own state.
Nebraska football roster wise, Mitch, we'll let you out on this. We've seen some changes, and it's pretty common now when they release a roster update and they say, all right, here's what's moved and here's what's changed. You'll see, a guy go from, and there was two in this case, go from wide receiver to defensive back, or offensive line to defensive line, or defensive line to offensive line. And those are all young guys who haven't been on the field yet and really just last year redshirted. I find it interesting. And in this case, in this move, you saw, I think, 3 or 4 guys go from the offensive side to the defensive side. And I sort of find that interesting from the perspective of, you look at the wide receiver room right now, and all those guys that they recruited last year, some of them are over in the defensive back room. You obviously have 3 older guys who are transfers in there right now, and then guys who you've seen a wide receiver in Coleman and Lloyd. But I find it interesting because there's space, right? There is space now to either add a guy if you feel like it's necessary, not just for this year, but for next, and then continue to bring in big classes at one spots and then they sort of diffuse out to other spots on the roster. I find it interesting sort of how they've done that in their first year here.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at a recruiting class and you're stressed because there weren't as many defensive linemen or wide receivers as you might like to see based on the current condition of the roster, the thing you have to understand about this staff is that they do recruit athletes, and not just athletes who can go back and forth between the secondary and the wide receiver core, but also between offensive line and defensive line. I think I know all of and I haven't gone through every name on the roster that was updated yesterday, but I mean, you're talking about Machachak, who's now on the offensive line. Obviously, Ruquan Buckley is on the offensive line. He wasn't a first year player, but Mason Goldman is on the defensive line. You've got DeAndre Barnes and Jeremiah Charles, who've moved to the secondary. I think all of that stuff has been covered and has been mentioned, at least by Matt Rule, in the most recent times where he talked to the media. But there might be a couple others in there that have even escaped me. And then the other thing you can do is you can move guys from the rover spot to a linebacker position between the times that they're recruited and they get on the field. And also you can do it between defensive end and jack linebacker. So there's a lot of flexibility both just because of the way that this staff thinks and also because the way that they organize their scheme and in the kind of players that they recruit and looking for versatility. So that's definitely going to be a signature, a hallmark of this coaching staff as they go into recruiting cycles in the future.
No doubt. Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Mitch, thanks as always, man. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you next week.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Connor.
Mitch Sherman. So what you'll look at when you look at the scholarship distribution right now, if you want to call it a scholarship distribution, like running back room is thin. Wide receiver room is thin. I think there's, by my count, and I don't think I'm missing anybody. 3, 5, 7, 9. Like there's 9 scholarship wide receivers at the moment. That's and 2 of them are incoming freshmen. So both of them won't be here till the fall. So there's going to be 7 out there for the spring as quote unquote scholarship guys. And I know that's gotten a lot more confusing lately, but it's a giant offensive line room. It's a giant defensive line room. It's a big corners room. And then you could sort of diffuse those guys out depending on what their skill sets are into various other positions, or, you're playing positionless defense. And it also leaves a lot of room for Nebraska to continue to add big time dudes at running back and wide receiver, guys that they really, really want in their recruiting classes or who come in for immediate impacts during in the transfer portal. That's what I look at right now. We can talk about that a little bit later if we have time, but we still got a busy hour coming up here. We'll get the odd news next. We have the tweet bag coming up, so get your tweets in. We got a few of them. We could use a few more. I think we have something to offer today. Woodcliff. Yeah. Woodcliff Restaurant, which is at Woodcliff Lake.
Fitting name then.
No doubt about it. So send those in. There could be a prize coming your way. Also, in the next, this show or next, probably tomorrow, we'll have some Creighton tickets to give away on Friday.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. We got tickets to things. We have money. We have gift cards.
Money?
It pays. Yes, it pays. Yeah, money. But the $500 prize for the playoff pick'em.
Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash. Like there's a whole bunch of reasons to listen, not just our sparkling personalities. We'll come back. Josh has the odd news next on 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Hi, everybody. Kent Pavelka here with why I chose Everlevel Concrete Repair for my driveway. They do it all. They fix cracks, lift sunken slabs, protect the finished product from deterioration, and all at a fraction of the price of replacement. It's not a Band-Aid like other repair methods. Everlevel's products are designed to last, which is why they've been voted Best of Omaha again this year. Better yet, it all comes with a transferable warranty. Protect your concrete before winter. Call Everlevel today for your free inspection. Everlevel. They make your driveway Everlevel. Level up.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal are coupons valued at $50 on sale for just $25 to the Woodcliff Restaurant at Woodcliff Lake in Fremont. It's perfect for a romantic dinner or to bring the whole family to enjoy a culinary treat for any special occasion. $50 on sale for just $25 to the Woodcliff Restaurant at Woodcliff Lake in Fremont. This week's half-off deal.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. If there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Do you want more control over your business spending? Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management platform designed to save you time and money. Ramp offers unlimited corporate cards with spend controls you can customize to stop wasteful spending before it happens. Ramp makes expense reports a breeze by automatically collecting receipts and matching them to the right transaction. You'll close your books in hours instead of days. Ramp allows you to see all of your company spend in one place, so you can make quick, informed decisions about your business finances. Plus, Ramp will share insights based on your spending to help you cut costs. Over 15,000 businesses have added up to 5% to their bottom line with Ramp. You can be one of them. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, it's the odd news. Once again, get your questions in for the tweet bag, which is coming up in a mere moments. Also, we have our top 5 poll questions of the month coming up.
That's right. I did a lot of painstaking labor before the show today, and
I know you did. You were grinding, and then you left,
and then I left. Yeah,
you came back. Josh is always on the grind.
Stay grind.
All right, what do we got? Odd news.
We have a story out of.
I hope so. Where are we going? Where
the hell is this? Feels like Florida.
Oh, you want to just do the Phillies jerseys?
Oh, God.
That's pretty odd.
Ooh. Everybody do yourself a favor. Hop on Twitter and search Phillies City Connect. Have a vomit bag nearby, and we'll discuss when they're officially released.
Oh, I hope that's not real.
This is across the pond somewhere. A man has been stung with drug charges after he accidentally handed police a satchel containing cocaine during a random breath test.
Wow, they checked it?
In Sydney. So this must be Australia.
It sounds like Australia to me.
The driver of a white Mazda utility was stopped by the highway patrol for a random breath test when he was asked to produce his license. The highway patrol said when the man handed over his license, the officer allegedly felt an object attached to the back, believed to be a clear resealable bag of white powder. So was the bag taped to the back of the license? That's terrible.
Seems like a bad place to put cocaine.
Hey, this is Greg Smith's cocaine. Nobody touch it. When the bag was brought to the driver's attention, he allegedly admitted it was a bag of cocaine. The driver stated he had been using the drug during a New Year's Eve celebration and forgot he had it in his wallet.
He's very honest.
And he had said, I have not used it since.
What do your parents always tell you, like, if you lie, just gonna make it worse.
Cover up's worse than the crime.
Now, in this case, is that true? Is there actually a good, a positive result to come out of not telling the truth in this scenario? So they're probably going to get to the bottom of it, right?
You should never lie to the police. You should never hide anything from the police. But this man was pulled over for a breath exam. He took a breathalyzer, which yielded negative results.
He walked himself into this.
So it is very plausible that if he would have just shut his mouth, he could have gotten away with everything.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty upstanding citizen of Australia. He just happened to have done a little coke on New Year's Eve.
Who among us hasn't done a little coke on New Year's Eve and said, "Oh, I've got a little leftover. Mind if I take that in a Ziploc baggie? I'll finish it later."
Andy says, "I keep a bag of cocaine paper clipped to my registration." It's a bad spot. Bad spot for it.
Yeah.
Because that once again, dumb criminals. Guy was really barely even a criminal.
Yeah. The thing he was pulled over for was not a crime.
Yep.
We go to Springfield, Illinois for our next story. Springfield man is back behind bars after law enforcement said he committed another crime mere minutes after being released into the public again.
Yeah.
The Sangamon County Sheriff's Office said James Kirst, 45 years young, was arrested on Friday by SPD for criminal trespassing. He was released at 7:34. Keep that in mind, everybody. 7:34. 15 minutes later, Central Dispatch told them he had thrown a metal pole through the front entrance of the county building he was released from.
Now that may be a record. That may be a record. So, I mean, we do the bid every year where we try to, take down the easiest world record. If you find yourself in jail, get released, you're probably going to go back to jail. I mean, there's statistics on these things. You want to keep yourself out of jail, but if you feel like you're destined to go back to jail at some point, why not just commit the crime right away again?
Yeah,
it'll save you a lot of time.
If you know you're going to do it, save those public resources and do it as quick as possible afterwards and as close to the police station as possible.
Straight back to jail.
Yeah.
Straight to jail. How do you look in orange, Mr. Guy who threw the pole through the window?
He must think he looks great because he went right back. We go to Canada for the final story, Ontario to be exact. A Pizza Hut has gained online infamy due to an unfortunate typo.
Uh-oh.
The restaurant in the Timmins area posted a sign on its door that was meant to inform customers that the dining room would be closed due to unforeseen circumstances. But a spelling error, or perhaps autocorrect, changed the sign to blame the restaurant's closing on unforeseen circumcisions.
Yep.
Photos of the sign quickly spread online and went viral. Even actor George Takei from Star Trek shared an image writing, "Typos are my worst enema."
George Takei has kind of become like the meme guy,
Yeah, if you got a good meme, he's going to push it out.
If you ever seen a meme on like Facebook or something like that, it's probably from George Takei at one point. It's definitely the way it's gone so far.
The local hospital in the area jumped on the viral image, writing, "Hey, Pizza Hut, stick to pizza. We'll handle the circumcisions." The manager of said Pizza Hut made light of the spelling error with a $5 pizza deal attached.
Here's the great thing about our modern day society. If you screw up, assuming that you don't get canceled, like if you make a simple error like this and it's not a cancelable offense, it's just a it's a funny mistake, you could profit off it.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Depending on how you handle things, you are in a position where you could potentially profit off of your mistake that would have gotten you fired back in the day or gotten the business closed or something like that. Yeah. There's a lot of areas where, society is at a better place for that from that perspective.
Next day, he posted a sign, and this is going to sound like a joke, but I'm telling you it's not. "In light of recent circumstances," the sign reads, and it goes on about the $5 pizza deal. "No tip required."
Nice. Pretty good.
No tip required.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay.
Yep. We got you. All right, good stuff in Canada.
Yeah. Wacky place.
We all went to Tim Hortons afterwards.
Had a good laugh.
All right, thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the odd news. The tweet bag is up next. Get your questions in at Happer Show. We'll dive into the bag for about 15 or 20 minutes, and there is a prize on the other side. $50 to Woodcliff Restaurant on the line. Josh will slide in the DMs this afternoon if your question is deemed to be good enough. That's what's on the line next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hey folks, Kent Pavelka again to tell you about your local concrete experts at Everlevel Concrete Repair. Now, if you have cracked, uneven concrete, Everlevel can fix it at a fraction of the cost compared to replacement. This is no Band-Aid. Their products are built to last. It gives your concrete the durable protection it needs, and there's still time. I chose Everlevel for my driveway, and I've got peace of mind with their long-term transferable warranty. Everlevel's products and customer service are top-notch, and that's why they've been voted Best of Omaha again this year. Say it with me. Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel.
The 20th ranked Omaha Maverick hockey team is coming off an overtime road sweep against St. Cloud State. This Friday and Saturday night, Maverick hockey takes on Minnesota Duluth at Baxter Arena. And the Maverick men's basketball team, with the second most wins in the Summit League, is making a run at the league title. The Mavs tip off against second place St. Thomas this Thursday. Let's pack the Baxter. Get your hockey and basketball tickets now by calling the box office at 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/ticks.
Email us on the Equitable inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can hit me up, agree, disagree, tell me your thoughts on life at Hanley@1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
The Zone hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
Omaha Nurseries has been your dependable full-service source for locally grown trees, plants, and landscape materials. Rooted in tradition, our products and services are consistently ranked Best of Omaha in quality and value. From design to install, our experts are here to help bring your landscape vision to life. Start your next project this weekend. Visit us at 192nd and Center. Omaha Nurseries, your homegrown headquarters since 1974.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. Happy Super Bowl to all who celebrate. John from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, and with the big game this year. New customers, go to FanDuel.com/1620 and you can get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Whether it's the team that you like, whether it's a total you like, just go to FanDuel.com/1620 and take advantage today.
FanDuel always gives us great props, but of course the Super Bowl itself is the game that ultimately decided what the props were all about. And there are going to be plenty for the big game. So just make that first $5 winning bet and get $200 in bonus bets if that bet wins. For new customers, just visit FanDuel.com/1620. That's FanDuel.com/1620. 21 plus in present in Iowa. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
This is the Tweet Bag. You send your questions in and we answer them. Like no other radio segment ever. It's the Tweet Bag on the Connor Happer Show.
Time for the tweet bag. You get your questions in. You get a chance to win $50 to the Woodcliff restaurant. We'll take them in a variety of different ways. Of course, the OG, Twitter, a.k.a. X. Send those in. Use the hashtag tweetbag if you would, please. It's easier for us to track what's going on over there. Also, you can comment in on the YouTube page or on the text line as well. We'll track them down. We'll find them. Josh, let's dive in and pull one out. What do we got?
I'm going to start in the inbox here.
Okay.
Get an email from Dan.
The Equitable Bank inbox. We
That's
take
right.
banking personally.
That's right. Dan emails us in.
Hi, Dan.
I have a rule that I will not golf if the temperature is below my age. Do you think that is a good idea?
No, it's a bad idea because then you can't golf at age 72.
Good point.
Now, for right now, let's say you're 36. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Don't play golf. I'm not enough of a golf sicko yet. I'm a convenient golfer. I'm a casual golfer. I will golf if it is 100, and I have a tee time booked. Right.
You're going to keep the time.
I'm good with that. And I actually people like to stray away from when it's raining. I actually kind of like it when it's raining, not torrential
Just
downpour.
a little drizzle.
Yeah, I like a gray,
thins out the herd.
A gray summer morning. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I like that. And I can deal with cart path only, all that stuff. But no, I don't think that rule will age well for you. Coincidentally enough, I don't think that rule will be good for you. It's
right off
it's
the
a
top,
lifetime
I need
game.
to know your age.
Right, exactly. And you want to be now. I guess
don't deny yourself if you're in the mood.
Yeah,
go.
If you wanted to keep that rule intact and play golf when you're 70, you got to move to. It's time to move to San Diego. Maybe that keeps you on track that way. But like too hard and fast for me.
Okay.
I don't need it to be a hard and fast rule. But I'm not enough of a sicko to go play when there's still snow on the ground. I don't like it. I don't like playing in the spring really at all. It's too windy. It's too cold. Like if I have to wear a stocking cap, it's probably not the right day for me, the weekend warrior, to go out and play golf.
Okay.
And that's what I am. I have another from the inbox. Oh, you have this too, Josh.
I do.
Go there.
Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. If you could magically give the ability of any past Huskers to give to a current player on this team, who would it be and why would that be the choice? Would you give the defensive tackle on the roster right now the ability of Ndamukong Suh from 2009?
It would help.
Would you give a current running back the running ability of Lawrence Phillips?
I think that's my answer. Yes.
Or would you give a current wide receiver the ability of Trey Palmer? Bonus option, what if you could give Eric Crouch's running ability to Dylon? Or is that an unfair option, as it would just automatically be the greatest college quarterback of all time?
See, we know too little about Dylon to as much as I want to know, as much as I want to believe that he'll be, the best passer of the football in Nebraska.
Well, he spits
history.
hot fire, Connor.
He does speed hot fire. That I don't know. I would stray away from that one for now. Obviously, it would help immensely if you have that as one of your abilities. With that being said, I'm totally fine with the quarterback having one arm tied behind his back from the perspective of I don't need him to be good at everything, like be good at throwing. That's good. So I would stray away from that because I think Dylan has a chance to be, one of the better ones to do that at Nebraska.
My quarterback bar is so low right now. I don't need I don't need the whole tool bag.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, you gave me the option of giving a running back the ability of Lawrence Phillips. I mean, yeah, I think that would kind of take this thing to the next level.
That's a big need.
I think that would help quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, having a wide receiver like Trey Palmer taking the top off the defense, we saw how much that helped in 2022. So I'm not opposed to that idea. And I'm, of course, not opposed to the idea of giving one of the defensive linemen the Sue ability to just wreck everything. That would certainly help your defense. But yeah, I think at this point, I want Nebraska to be a little bit more well-rounded of a program. So you have a quarterback who can do some things, and then you have Lawrence Phillips at running back, which is pretty sweet. And then you still have a couple pretty good threats at wide receiver and tight end and a good defense on top of that. Yeah, give me the running back.
Yeah, I'm going to take the running back, and I'm not going to think very long about it.
Yeah, so, it's a good question.
Yeah, great question.
But yeah, it's a simple answer for me.
Chris tweets in.
Hi, Chris.
If you are stranded on a desert island and can only have either a radio that plays one artist or a TV that only plays one show, which are you choosing and what is on each?
Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
It's going to be a TV.
I think so.
Now, is it going to play Seinfeld or The Simpsons?
God, I think
I think so many episodes with The Simpsons, but
I've been watching Seinfeld like it's my before bedtime show now, and like it's great, and every episode is a new adventure and all that stuff. But I think if that was the only show that was playing for the rest of my life, I would probably have to take. I'd probably have to take some action because I would get so sick of it is a little aggressive at times, Josh.
Sure.
I know Larry David just had to take about what it's like walking into a sports stadium and you're just assaulted by sounds. I have a complaint about Larry David assaulting me with a like that was my issue with that show. It's great, like it's quirky, it's fun, but for the rest of my life, only that. Oh boy! And if you were doing a band, you'd have to have a band with some range.
Yeah.
So like it wouldn't be Green Day. Every Green Day song sounds the same, pretty much.
Careful.
I'm just saying it's true.
I don't need the Green Day fans.
I love Green Day. I love Green Day. I just it's hard. They're all great songs.
We don't need people who are of music.
Yeah. No, I know. Hey, look, don't get me wrong. I love Green Day. So I think it'd be a TV show, and you would want something with some length. Gosh, I guess I don't know, Breaking Bad or something like that. That was a long show. Not a lot of seasons, but a lot of time, a lot of episodes.
Give me Law and Order.
Or maybe it'd be a show
30
like
years of hour-long episodes.
Maybe you'd go with a show that you'd never seen before and you just take a chance on something and you're just you're watching it for the first time and then you watch it again and you watch it again and watch it. I mean, that could take up a good portion of the rest of your time on the island.
Hey, I never had time to binge Gunsmoke. Maybe now's the time.
Yeah. I didn't watch season 2 and season 3 of True Detective. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to see what Vince Vaughn was all about.
Spoiler alert, it's not.
It's not time to do that?
It's not.
Damn it.
Although, if you're watching the new season, you should watch the first season.
I've heard this.
Well, you should just watch the first season in general because it's one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen. But the new season, they're linked.
They're going back? Okay.
They're linked in some
All right, that's good. That helps.
The person we affectionately refer to as Asian Joe tweets in.
He refers to himself that way.
Yeah, that's right. And other people in the audience might not know that. So I don't want them to think, oh, who's this white guy calling somebody Asian Joe? Joe tweets in.
Asian Joe.
With Valentino's ice cream now a thing. Pause. What?
Yeah, I hadn't heard this. I hadn't heard about this.
I continue. What other Nebraska food/beverage item should be turned into an ice cream? Kool-Aid? Dorothy Lynch? Reuben sandwich? Other ideas?
No, I think we've done enough with ice cream. No, I mean, I don't want to make another thing ice cream at this point. Is that okay? Can that be my answer to the question?
I mean,
I don't want to make another thing ice cream.
I agree with you.
We have enough ice creams.
If we're going to do this, though, like as a thought exercise, like it has to be Kool-Aid, right? Because
no, it does not. It does not.
The flavors of Kool-Aid lend itself to ice cream.
Like what candy bar have we not put in an ice cream yet?
I can't imagine there is one.
Well, we could do have they made salted nut roll ice cream?
Hey now.
I'm interested.
Go to the Google machine here.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm sure it exists somewhere. I guess that's my answer then. Let's put salted nut roll ice cream.
Kemp's makes it, by the way.
Do they really?
Yeah. Look at that. There's salted nut roll pieces right in the vanilla ice cream.
Little nougat in there?
Look at that. Yeah.
Oh,
it's not vanilla ice cream. I'm sorry. Marshmallow nougat ice cream with salted. Oh, yeah. You hate marshmallows. With salted candied peanuts and thick caramel swirl. Find near me.
Caramel? What's is there caramel in?
Yeah.
Salted nut. Okay.
That's the glue, the binder for it all.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
The map won't load quick enough.
But we're really close to like pizza ice cream and all this nonsense, and we just don't need to do this.
Asian Joe has commented in. He asked this person as a person who is lactose intolerant.
What does that mean?
I think he's just trying to cause chaos because he's not eating the ice cream himself.
Oh, so he wants to just make a whole bunch of stuff that we as a public have to pretend to like.
If you made Dorothy Lynch ice cream, I bet people would buy it. It sounds disgusting, but I think there would be a segment of people that would be like, yes, sold.
Yeah, I guess that's my answer then. I'm going with the salted nut roll ice cream. Because I think it would have to be candy bar. I think it'd have to be a candy bar.
Yeah.
By the way, talking about Seinfeld from before, Aaron, who has been sentenced to watching Seinfeld by his fantasy football league, says this.
What a unique punishment, by the way.
Screw Seinfeld in every way. Halfway through season 2 of losing my fantasy league punishment, and it still sucks so bad. And I like good television, but that show sucks. Aaron, I just think you went in with a bad disposition, man.
Yeah.
I think you didn't have your head screwed on right.
You were forced into it, so you had a bad attitude about it.
Yeah.
Now
you gotta check that toot at the door.
Also, you're in season 2 of Seinfeld. Like
it gets better.
Season 2 is a 12-episode season.
I think we peak in season 4,
where the Chinese restaurant is really the only real banger in that season.
Keep going. Keep an open mind. That's all.
Yeah. Jefferson Steelflex.
Great name.
If quarterbacks had to throw a different object instead of a football, what would make the game more interesting?
More interesting?
Mm-hmm. Javelin.
Can I make it like a tiny football?
Oh, sure. Sure.
Like, what if football was the same except for the football was tiny? Now, if you want to make it more interesting, this would make the game worse, but certainly more interesting from what we know it as right now. Like we could do like a golf ball, or
water balloon.
Yeah. Yeah. This would all make the game infinitely more interesting, but definitively worse. I mean, at the same time, if you're doing like a golf ball or a baseball even, Patrick Mahomes would still be the best quarterback, by the way. And
he would find a way.
Well, I mean, he's got the baseball background.
Oh, that's right.
And just like they should pay in that situation, they should pay an infinite amount of money to get Tyreek Hill back. And he just runs go routes, and Patrick Mahomes throws a baseball 120 yards every single play. Touchdown.
Just go deep.
Touchdown. It's touchdown every single play.
We're running 4 verts every play.
Yep. No doubt about it.
What's on the text line?
We do have a couple here.
We don't want to ignore the fine text.
No, we don't. Pedro. Hi guys. Pedro? I love Pedro because he keeps those he keeps the text signature on. Hi guys. Do you think Matt Rule is a music bingo guy? And what is his go-to decade? Thanks, Pedro.
Wow. What a great question.
I feel like we have a little. One thing that we do a pretty good job of covering throughout the coaches' tenures here is their music taste.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We knew that Mike Riley was kind of a hippie, and He likes kind of folksy, like he loved John Prine. That was Mike Riley.
Yeah.
Frost liked new age, kind of modern hip hop country.
He
that
loves
kind of
Jelly
thing.
Roll.
He got he got a little bit into the folksy, type of stuff too. But like, I don't know what I would call it. I get like cool guy country, but kind of for guys who think they're cool but maybe aren't so cool.
Poll question: does Scott Frost love Jelly Roll?
I don't. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about Jelly Roll.
Okay.
He might have a couple songs by Jelly Roll on his playlist. Rule, I don't know that we know a lot yet.
Right.
But
I also feel he's very affable. Like he strikes me as a guy that loves family game night. And if somebody says, "Hey Dad, this place down the street is doing music bingo. Can we do that for family game night?" He's taking the family there and they're committed and he's committed to it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, he seems like a pretty cultured guy.
Mm-hmm.
But
seems up on a lot of things
by this point in his life, and it's his birthday. It's his 49th birthday today.
Mm-hmm.
By this point in his life, he's probably wrapped back around to the stuff he grew up with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what would that? He was born in
math is hard.
Math me up here. 75, I guess.
76 if he turned 48.
He turned 49 today.
Oh, then yeah, you were right the first time.
1970. I think he turned 70 or he turned 49 today. Born in 1975. So he's in high school from like 89 to 93, like in that range, right? If I'm doing the math right on that. So does that make him kind of grungy?
Oh, wow.
I don't think so.
No.
He seems like he would probably go back to the, like, he listened to some of the oldies with his dad in the car and really liked that. But probably got into some hair band at some point in time too.
Probably of the thought that I get the new stuff at work.
Yeah.
Work is very stressful. Let me get something relaxing. And
I think he would actually probably
older in the car.
I don't know a lot about his music taste, but I do think he would kill at music bingo. He would do a pretty good job.
Yeah. I like his chances if we're just on judging books by their cover.
Yeah. Asian Joe says Rule seems like his playlist includes Journey, Doobie Brothers, Nickelback, 90s hip hop, and maybe some collective soul. Yeah, I think he's pretty eclectic. Mm-hmm. I think he's got a pretty deep playlist.
I would like to throw Michael McDonald into that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Doobies.
True.
Got him in there already. Matt says, poll question, is Bill Moose buying Dorothy Lynch ice cream? Funny from what the rumors were about Bill Moose, or what the thought was about Bill Moose on his way out the door, but he once proclaimed that he loved Dorothy Lynch so much that he kept a fifth of it on him at all times. And I thought, that's an interesting thing to say, Bill Moose.
Interesting verbiage.
Yeah. Yeah. But he was definitely all in for, he wanted to be a Nebraskan, he wanted to really be a Nebraskan, and he thought it would be really endearing to Nebraskans to love Dorothy Lynch. And maybe he did. Maybe, I don't think it was all a bit, but he definitely doubled and tripled down. So I think he would have been all in on the Dorothy Lynch line of products, including the Dorothy Lynch ice cream. Yeah, I do think that, actually. Anything else, Josh?
I believe I'm tapped out. Speaking of Michael McDonald, he's been named the Seahawks head coach.
Different guy.
Be
funny, though. Oh, we got one yesterday. I don't want to forget this one.
Yeah.
From Matt.
Hi, Matt.
When the stadium shows a decibel level at the game, is that real? So I think it's a case-by-case basis. I think there are some places where it is real, but I think there's a lot more places where it's not real. That would be the way that I would answer that question. I would say it's probably 80% not real. They just depend on you getting louder and louder and louder as they continue to say, get louder and louder and louder.
Yeah.
And they do a pretty good job of it. There's some places that do have the decibel level like in the corner and it's just sitting there the whole game, which is pretty nice.
I would tend to believe that more.
Yes. Like you put it up there like as a temperature.
Now it can also be like a baseball stadium's radar where maybe they tweaked it.
Yeah, maybe it's hot.
Maybe
it's hot. That's all.
Reading a little high.
Who would win in music bingo between Rule and Frost?
Gotta
Gosh,
be
I don't
Rule.
know. I think Frost would be pretty good at it.
Yeah. Just his age, he'd be good.
Yeah. And he's had,
and his social proclivities.
I think he's experienced a lot of things in his life.
Mm-hmm. Great way to put it.
Many football coaches have. They've been surrounded by different types of people from all walks of life. They've likely lived in many different locations. So, yeah, I think football coaches is actually a pretty good person to ask on music bingo. They could be a ringer. All right, that is the tweet bag. Watch out for Josh. He might slide into your DMs.
Oh, yeah.
At some point, say, sup, you up,
and
then give you $50 to Woodcliff Restaurant.
You want to go to Woodcliff?
We'll come back. Has some things to catch up on before we get to our very special top five poll questions of January. All to come in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
If San Francisco doesn't win the NFC Championship this year, it's going to be one of the great failures in their franchise's history because everything has mapped out perfectly for them. They've been the best team in the conference all year, and then the best team next to them got eliminated in the first round. If the 49ers don't win on Sunday, Brock Purdy is likely going to get the lion's share of the blame.
Oh, yeah. Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A day to get out and absorb some sunshine today with temperatures climbing all the way up to the mid-50s. Cloudy skies working their way in overnight will start tomorrow with a temperature in the mid-30s, but temperatures yet again rising into the mid to upper 50s, but this time with cloudy skies. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Put your coffee department in good hands with Host Coffee Service, providing direct delivery and loaned coffee equipment with service programs. If you're ready to change to a better coffee provider, it's time for Host Coffee.
Omaha's best coffee since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Want to know the difference between 42 Degrees and our competition? Our customers. With over 1,200 five-star reviews, we are proud to say that our customer service is the best in town. Curious to know what our customers rate most every time? It's our knowledge of the products and how friendly and professional our sales staff is. Stop in, talk to our staff, and see for yourself why 42 Degrees is the source by your mom's house.
Bring your appetite to Shuck's Fish House. The 4 days of Shrimp Fest at Shuck's Fish House starts now through Wednesday with 7 different flavors of shrimp to choose from for only $5 a dozen. 3 Omaha locations. Get the skitty on their shrimp at shucksfishhouse.com.
Down the 7.
The Eagles present The Long Goodbye, the final tour, live in Omaha. With special guest Steely Dan.
Are you reeling in the
The Eagles. CHI Health Center, Saturday, February 10th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. The Eagles, The Long Goodbye, the final tour.
There's a lot more to love for a lot less at Salt's Jewelry and Loan. Now through Valentine's Day, get 50% off a huge selection of jewelry. Heart-shaped jewelry, gemstones, everything you need to show your love. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. It's the Celebration of Love sale with 50% off jewelry at Salt's Jewelry and Loan.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
All right, so here's what we have on Juwan Gary. He went through most of practice today. Hoiberg said they'll be careful if he's available against Wisconsin. Remember, he went out with the calf strain against Rutgers, which was, best case scenario from what it looked like, the calf strain. And then was, from what Fred said, what Hoiberg said leading up to the Ohio State game, it seemed like things were trending in the right direction for him. And it sounded like they almost, got him to go out there. He almost played against Ohio State. They held off, and you felt like, all right, he might be back. Against Maryland, he was ruled out before the game. And now we head into this week, which is a full a full 2 weeks plus a day later after the Rutgers game. And with 3 games in between, now leading into the Wisconsin game, Juwan Gary is still day-to-day. Went through some practice. Maybe he's playing, maybe he's not, but they're going to be careful with him. And then for the last couple days, there have been some rumors floating around that Juwan Gary was actually, closer to being ready to play than maybe was being led on, and that instead he had been suspended. Robin Washut, I don't think Robin would mind me passing this along, so I will. And he just joined the show a little bit ago. Hoiberg said Gary made it through a lot of practice today, including full court live reps. He'll be a game time decision against Wisconsin. Hoiberg added that they're going to be careful with him and manage his minutes closely once he returns to action. Then Robin did the good reporter thing, which is you chase the coach down after the press conference after he gets off the stage, and you say, "Hey, what's really going on here?" And he brought up the idea of the rumors that Gary had been suspended. Hoiberg, this is from Robin, Hoiberg adamantly denied them and said he had no idea where those rumors came from. So there's two possible things of what's happening here. Either it's very simple. Either Hoiberg is telling the truth or Hoiberg is lying. If he's lying, that he's suspended. If he's telling the truth, then they're just being extra careful with him. I don't know. I don't know what's what. I had heard
a little one gamer, little one gamer, two gamer.
I definitely heard the rumors. There's a reason why that wasn't said on the show. Like I don't know them to be true or not. But maybe they're just being careful with him. It certainly wasn't trending that way from before the Maryland game, which was this past Saturday. But I don't know what's up and what's down anymore with Juwan Gary. So just prepare yourself for whatever. Maybe he comes back tomorrow. Maybe he doesn't.
Prepare yourself to hear anything about Juwan Gary.
Prepare yourself to either see Juwan Gary playing basketball or not see Juwan Gary playing basketball. That's what we're looking at. Hey, Josh, before we get to your lovely top 5 that you've created.
Oh, okay.
I have one thing. We'll step out of our bubble here a little bit. I was reading, this is a brag, I was reading The Athletic today. Just opening up the morning paper, aka the website, and here is theathletic.com. And on the front page, I see this story.
Well, A1 today
about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, Robert Saleh, and how the Jets season fell apart. Quote, something has to change. And I thought, I'm clicking on that story.
Yeah.
This could be really fun. So it goes into this idea that they had basically built their entire franchise around Aaron Rodgers and how much latitude they had given him. We had a guest on, gosh, and I can't remember who it was, before the season talking about just how, it was a Jets guest, right?
Yeah.
Talking about just how much latitude he had in decision-making, in how they built the team. Obviously, they brought in Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard and Nathaniel Hackett, and the relationship between Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett had been described less of as a coach player, but more of as like a dude, guy and guy. And then we saw Hard Knocks, and the cameras got turned on, and then he played 4 plays and tore his Achilles. And
Dan Lieberfeld of Jets Confidential.
Thank you. He was a good guest, and he was right. Aaron Rodgers had got some latitude. So let me read you a couple sections of this story, which is a good one on theathletic.com by Zach Rosenblatt and Diana Rossini. That's what Aaron wants, was a common refrain from Hackett as he told coaches what plays he wanted to run during camp. Often Rodgers would hear Hackett's play call and want something else. So the entire offense would reset. Long before a litany of injuries to the offensive line, New York's talented defensive line consistently outplayed them in practice. Growing pains were expected in a new offense full of new personnel. One coach said it was concerning how little urgency Hackett and his staff showed in trying to fix it, saying he'd never seen a team watch less practice tape in training camp than the Jets did with Hackett. And the idea was, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. We have Aaron Rodgers. Our team is automatically better. We have Aaron Rodgers. So they created this entire team around the idea that Aaron Rodgers would be there and save them simply because he was Aaron Rodgers, which is a flawed concept in the first place, Josh, because of his age and his Aaron Rodgers-ness, right? And then it becomes even more flawed when he gets hurt in the 4th game of the year. And it has fourth play of the year, opening night. There's still that picture of him carrying out the American flag.
It's a great meme now.
I'll read you another section here.
And before you do this, the other thing they're advertising with this story is 30 sources.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of people.
Helped write this story, which is an incredible amount.
So it's another piece of this that we probably won't get to, but there was stuff that got reported throughout the year about the sort of the dysfunction in the locker room, and their reaction to that is like, hey, we got to clean it up. Actually, we might get to that. So here's another section. Saleh had the mantra positive vibes only printed on t-shirts that coaches and other staffers often wear around the team facility. The Jets head coach tries to stay optimistic around players and in front of the media, and has garnered respect from many in the locker room for cultivating an environment that allows players to be themselves. But behind closed doors, the vibes weren't always positive, especially when Saleh would see negative press reports. He would often bring up how, in his mind, the Giants don't get as much negative coverage as the Jets, calling it not very unfair, but close, just unfair. Sad, very unfair. In the aftermath of Rodgers' injury, Saleh bemoaned his bad luck. Throughout his tenure, he was often wondered aloud if he was doomed to the same fate as Vic Fangio, a brilliant defensive coach cursed by misfortune at quarterback. As the Jets lost games and struggled to score points, job security seemed to be Saleh's primary concern. He wished Johnson or Rodgers would publicly endorse him for 2024. Woody Johnson, the owner. Woody Johnson is known around the building for being active on Twitter, consuming criticism from fans and media. According to the team sources, Johnson often shared those opinions with Saleh in conversations about what wasn't working on offense. Publicly, Saleh avoided criticizing Zach Wilson or even acknowledging his struggles. Privately, the coach pinned many of the team's offensive issues on Wilson. The line and the receivers told people getting to 8 wins with Wilson at quarterback would be a, quote, miracle. Here you have a franchise that was very in on one guy and one guy working. And when that one guy went away and really throughout the year became a distraction, things fell apart. And so what's going to happen now, and where this story basically leaves off, is they're going to run it back next year, and they're going to double down, and they're going to do the exact same thing. They're going to say, let's try this again and just hope that Aaron doesn't get hurt and everything will work out for itself. For those in and around the Jets who witnessed a franchise turned over to an aging superstar and a season destroyed just minutes in, the hope is that betting big on Rodgers this time is the only thing that feels like deja vu. Quote, Aaron will be an offense in itself because that's what he brings to the table, Garrett Wilson said. He's special. I just pray that everyone in the world gets to see that next year. But what happened this year can't happen again, even though they're going to do the exact same thing. Go Jets!
So this is fun because it's very gossipy. It's very salacious.
Yes.
But also at the same time, I'm thinking, oh, so it went exactly how it looked like it was going when Robert Saleh couldn't pick a quarterback, refused to sign a veteran backup who was sitting on the couch, and just sort of kind of threw his hands up after the Rodgers injury. And it's like, you guys see these quarterbacks, like, what could we do?
Here's the thing. It didn't only go exactly like that, Josh. It also went exactly how it went at the end in Green Bay, which has a common denominator.
I fail to see the connection. Oh, Aaron Rodgers.
That's right. Oh, yeah. And it was Randall Cobb. It's all in Randall Cobb.
That's right.
Oh, dysfunction just follows around Aaron Rodgers? It's weird.
Good thing those TV interviews aren't controversial and problematic in any way, shape, or form.
Hopefully we put him in the exact same situation next year, and it just works out exactly the opposite. Oh, and we're asking him to come off an Achilles injury and, quote, literally, quote, be an offense.
Be an offense. Good thing he has a grounded home life with a family that loves him and is not controversial at all.
Great support system.
Destruction follows Aaron everywhere.
Yeah. Run it back, baby. Go Jets.
Good luck.
I'd be really happy to hear all this if I was a Jets fan. All right, coming back. Top 5 poll questions of the month of January. One of my favorite segments of the month. Next on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Creighton Sports Update.
Just a limited amount of home games left for Creighton men's basketball. The Blue Jays return to CHI Health Center Omaha on Friday for another Big East competition where they will face off against the Butler Bulldogs at 8 p.m. Friday night. Limited quantities of Blue Jay beanies will be available for fans upon entry. To follow along on all things Creighton athletics or to purchase tickets, visit gocreighton.com.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton athletics.
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG, in-store or online at the best values. Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators to laundry pairs. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience. Because Lowe's knows appliances. Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal are coupons valued at $50 on sale for just $25 to the Woodcliff Restaurant at Woodcliff Lake in Fremont. It's perfect for a romantic dinner or to bring the whole family to enjoy a culinary treat for any special occasion. $50 on sale for just $25 to the Woodcliff Restaurant at Woodcliff Lake in Fremont. This week's half-off deal.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hey fans, looking for the best seats without the hidden fees? Then you need to check out Tickets for Less. Whether it's Creighton games, Husker matchups, or big-time concerts and events, they've got you covered, all with no service fees. Now, you ready to score a deal? Use the code THEZONE at ticketsforless.com and save on your next event. You prefer to go mobile? Grab the free Tickets for Less app and shop with ease. Every seat holds a story, so find yours and save when you use the promo code THEZONE at ticketsforless.com and the Tickets for Less app today.
We'll take a look at the updated team sheets for the local basketball teams, and we'll take a look at where they stand in the bracket matrix. All terms that you're going to have to get familiar with in the next few weeks, coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. But this is the time where we look back and we see how funny we were.
How did we do last month?
Pat ourselves on the back.
All right. A little victory lap here for us. Top 5 poll questions from the last month of shows. We begin with the superlatives, the most voted on poll question of the month.
Okay.
From January 8th. When you hear the word panhandle, what state do you think of?
Polarizing.
Nebraska, Oklahoma, or other?
My vote, of course, was Oklahoma.
68% of the audience that is mainly in Nebraska said Nebraska.
Yeah.
21% said Oklahoma. 10% said other.
Yeah, I think there were a couple Florida comments in there, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so not surprising. You think of Nebraska first if you're from the state of Nebraska.
We actually had a tie for most lopsided poll question of the month.
Okay.
95.1% to 4.9%. It happened twice, miraculously.
Wow.
Do you believe Skip Bayless actually hit a hole in one? 95% of the audience said no.
Yeah. I think I voted no on that one.
Sure. And on January 19th, we asked the question, remember perforated edges? 95.1% of the audience, yes, did remember perforated edges.
Well, it's about the time where you're starting to get your W-2s and your 1090s and your whatevers. And, you know, maybe there's some perforated edges on there. I've received a couple of them already for my many jobs.
Jobs, yes, yes. All right, now we get into the top 5 poll questions from January number 5.
Gosh, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
Wednesday, January 17th, during the AM crossover, we asked the following question. Is KCI pumping the smell of barbecue through the air ducts?
I really believe this. My one experience, well, I mean, I guess I flew out and I flew back in. So my 2 times being inside of the new, beautiful, single terminal Kansas City Airport, coming soon to Omaha. I have a suspicion that they were pumping in barbecue smell through the ducts. Now they do have barbecue restaurants there, but it was wafting throughout the building.
Now, Connor,
you get off that plane, you know you're in Kansas City because you smell that sweet, sweet barbecue.
I know you feel like a man on an island with this take, but 70% of the audience agreed with you that yes, they are pumping barbecue smell.
So, sometimes I just got to convince you guys, and people will listen in and they'll hear, "Wow, Connor makes great points. He's a smart guy. Let's vote with him." That's what happened.
Number 4.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you. By the way, Travis says absolutely no one thinks about the Oklahoma Panhandle. We can relitigate this, honestly, because I think Panhandle, I think Oklahoma.
Now you did.
It's the state with the most obvious Panhandle.
You did make a point that I think is true. Oklahoma is the state that looks most like a pan.
It has a panhandle.
A pan.
It looks like a pan. It looks like a pot. I mean,
it's just not what I think of.
Florida Panhandle, Texas Panhandle, sure, Nebraska Panhandle. Like, I just think Oklahoma first. I don't know why. My brain is programmed to think about the Oklahoma Panhandle.
Oklahoma looks like a side view of a skillet.
It looks like a literal pan.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm coming from.
Tuesday, January 23rd, poll question number 4. Most voted on poll question of the day and most lopsided poll question of the day.
Okay.
Are you surprised that the president of PETA is named Ingrid? Maybe not the nicest poll question we've ever asked, but
I'm not surprised.
92.5% of the audience said no, they are not surprised that Ingrid is the president of PETA.
Shout out to all my Ingrids out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're nice.
I'm sure you're, a wonderful Ingrid, full of many great qualities. But this particular Ingrid, maybe not so much.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Maybe she's a nice lady. She's just passionate about animal rights.
Yeah, and on the surface, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but you can be a little bit too abrasive with it sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes PETA's tactics, although I will say they have seemingly calmed down. Like, you don't hear about PETA much anymore.
So that was their thing. They were like making it a bit before. Maybe they're not anymore, and maybe it just doesn't get,
maybe
as
we're
much
all
publicity
done with
anymore.
the bit because we know the bit.
Maybe that's probably what's happening. Number 3?
Number 3, Monday, January 15th, a very important day in our nation. It was the day of the Iowa caucus.
Oh.
Which caused
we
us...
all remember that.
Which caused us to ask the question, should people wear weird wigs to the caucus? Which is a question I love because I get the visual of the white powdered wigs.
Them actually caucusing.
79% of the audience said yes.
Yes, I think so.
You should do that, Iowans.
Please.
If you want to keep this archaic way of voting going.
Yeah, like if it's a
then
bit,
commit to it.
If it's a bit in the first place to actually have the caucus, and I know Iowans are proud of it, but like, come on, we could all see this. It's a bit. It's funny. Nobody does it anymore.
It's quaint, and that's why you do it.
Exactly, and it's a very outdated and old school way to make your opinion heard.
They threatened to take it away from you, and you said, no, this is all we have in life.
Grow up, do a tweet, go on a forum. But here we are, and so I think they should really, really throw it back when they decide to do their caucus every year.
All right, top 5 poll questions of January, number 2.
Here comes 2. Number 2.
Friday, January 12th. We do some of our best poll questioning on Fridays and Mondays, if you ask me.
Interesting.
We're just a little sillier, a little goofier. Friday, January 12th, we asked this question. It was the most voted on poll question of that day. Which would you rather have right now? Sex or a hole-in-one? 59% of the audience said sex.
Mine is easy. It's easily a hole-in-one. It's easily a hole-in-one.
It is not an easy decision.
I don't have to. I don't want to explain myself really, but like it's easily a hole-in-one. I don't know if I'm gonna get that in my life.
The hole-in-one.
The hole-in-one.
Hey, everyone's answer is your own answer. Vote the way you want to vote.
Yeah, I mean,
I was shocked when this came back so close.
You're surprised that
I just thought,
because I'm surprised that hole-in-one didn't win. I feel like hole-in-one should have won.
A large portion of our audience is male.
And they just see the word sex.
I
and
just
they're
assumed,
like,
yep, sex. Oh, let me click sex.
And which is honestly, given what the information that we have, it's fair. It's
they
understandable.
voted in droves for this poll.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I think it's easy. And yeah, I don't know. That's all. I just think it's an easy question.
Okay.
The hole-in-one. I'm not sure that's happening.
Number 1, the best poll question from the month of January.
Make it so, number 1.
Number 1.
It was from our first day of work this month and this year, Connor.
Wow.
Is opting out of bowl games kind of like the Grimace Shake?
I don't remember this question at all.
I don't remember the question.
Remember when we were talking about opting out of bowl games?
I don't know how you brought those two things together.
I think I know. Like, I think I understand it. It's like it was a fad. It was cool for one day, and now maybe it'll go away.
Okay. I couldn't honestly not remember how you got there.
I think that was kind of the gist of it.
But also, it was the most lopsided poll question of the day. 72% of the audience agreed with you that yes, opting out of bowl games is like the Grimace Shake.
Like I said, I must have made a pretty good point. I must have made a good argument.
Many are saying Connor makes great points. On the Connor Happer Show.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
You could buy sex, but you can't really buy a hole-in-one.
You can lie about sex, and you can lie about a hole-in-one.
Neither of them are satisfying. In fact, you feel horrible about both of them afterwards.
The lying, right?
The lying.
Okay,
The
okay.
lying. Right, like, I mean,
I just want to make sure you were having the right kind of sex.
and like everybody's, maybe you've been in a scramble, in a golf scramble where you could like buy a hole-in-one for $50 or whatever, and it gets donated to charity or something like that. There's something empty about that too, because let's say you win the tournament and you win it, because you shot a 56 and you bought 3 hole-in-ones or something like that. Like, that's stupid. It's not fun. It's not fun to win that way. I'd rather not.
You want it on your merit.
That's exactly right. Amazing Daniel writes in.
Hello, Amazing Daniel.
Underestimating how much of your audience can't get laid and spend too much time golfing. Yeah, I'm just speaking from my own perspective.
I've seen the Taylor Swift critiques. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of people in our audience who can't get laid.
Damn, Josh.
What?
I believe in you all. You could do anything you set your mind to, including hit a hole-in-one. This might take a lot longer. That's all. All right, that's a fun one every month. Let's do better in February. We'll have an extra day.
That's right, leap year.
It is a leap year. What day let's see here.
29th will be the leap day.
Right, but like what day of the week? It's a Thursday.
Ooh, okay.
All right. We get an extra day. It's the day after Creighton plays on the 28th against Seton Hall.
Hall in a Cell, part 2.
Hall in a Cell. And then, you know what'll happen?
Marquette comes to town right after that.
Yep.
Our friend Frank
Caliendo will be here.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting. All right. Let's take a break. Come back. Let's jump into the old brackets. Let's take a look at what Nebraska and Creighton have accomplished so far and map out what they need to do in order to get to where they want to go. Next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But I do have a reminder for you all to get involved in our playoff pick'em. Still going. Don't be like me and forget. Just do it right now. Go to 1620thezone.com, pick the NFL playoff games, pick the Super Bowl, or pick the big game, and you'll get entered to win. Sorry, too late. Can't put that cat back in the bag. You'll win. You can get entered to win $500. Get all the details, get entered to win. Go to our website, 1620thezone.com.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
It's the most time-honored tradition to start the weekend, grabbing a cold one from a local Nebraska brewery. Let's be real here. It's cold outside, and you don't want to drink the same boring beer as those Hawkeye fans. Drink Nebraska brewed beer, cider, or seltzers instead. Each week, we're putting the spotlight on a unique Nebraska brewery with One Beer Friday. Share your brew on social media with the hashtag One Beer Friday, and you'll be entered to win a $25 gift card to a local Nebraska brewery. Nebraska is the good life with great beer. Click Nebraska.beer to learn more.
Happy Super Bowl to all who celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Now, if you're like me, Chiefs fan, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. The Chiefs, Nick, as an underdog again?
Yeah, why would you do that? And whether you like the food, the commercials, the game itself, I'll tell you what, great prop bets going on as well. You got so many good involved in this one. FanDuel has so many ways that you can end your season with a W or 2 or 3. Not only going to bet on who's going to win Super Bowl 58, but you can also take a look at which players will score a touchdown, how many points will be scored, and so much more. New customers join today, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Just visit FanDuel.com. Use the promo code ZONE to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/zone. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Roofing, siding, and gutters. Make the right call with the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Purchasing your next car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse Ford is easier than ever thanks to our streamlined buying process. Shop our current inventory and offers going on now and experience the convenience of buying with Woodhouse Ford today. Lease a 2023 Ford F-150 STX for $449 a month for 39 months, 7,500 miles per year. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing with approved credit. Security deposit waived. Vehicle is a retired courtesy loaner. Stock number FC231453. Offer expires 1/31/2024. See dealer for details.
Come visit Omaha's own little corner of France, Le Voltaire, for mouth-watering appetizers and entrees. Plus, melt-in-your-mouth desserts and an extensive brunch menu on Sundays 10 to 2. Dinner, brunch with friends, a special occasion, entertaining clients, or just chilling with French wines with your favorite someone, Le Voltaire will make you feel right at home. Reserve their private party room today for birthdays, rehearsal dinners, and retirement parties. Le Voltaire, just off 156th and West Dodge Road in the Pepperwood Village, and at LeVoltaireOmaha.com.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. We are, so Nebraska is 5-5 in the league in their 20 non-conference games. Creighton is 7-3 in the league out of their 20 non-conference games. So we are halfway through the conference slate. We are going into February. It's basically the witching hour of college basketball, except for it's an entire month.
Wow, what if the witching hour lasts a whole month?
That's college basketball. Grab your nitroglycerin pills, as John Rothstein would say. It's about to get wacky up in here. And both of our local basketball teams are currently either comfortably on the right side of the, well, there's no bubble in Creighton's case, or, I mean, with Nebraska's most recent loss to Maryland, this is life as, like, you know, the 40th best team in the country back to being squarely on the bubble. It's pretty much where Nebraska is right now. So I thought we'd take a look. Josh, I have given you some visual aids.
I'm ready.
It is time for, now I usually do this on Tuesdays, but we needed something to talk about today. So here we go. Team Sheet Wednesdays. Pop them up there. These come from our friends at Warren Nolan. Let's look at let's do the Cornhuskers first.
All right, there we go.
There's the Huskers with their net ranking in the top left corner. If you're watching along with us on YouTube, and you could see this quad by quad here. I wish we could have like a pointer, like a laser pointer that goes over this. You could see it quad by quad. So at the moment, now. K-State's going to be right on that edge. Minnesota is going to be right on that edge. Rutgers right on that edge. Like, what's a quad 2? What's a quad 3? And, you know, like, you can say at the end of the year, hey, we're this, and this, and quad 1 plus quad 2, and we're this, and this, and 3 and 4. Like, there is some gray area, right? It's not like if Indiana missed quad 3 to quad 2 by a ranking, you know, there will be some nuance that is thrown into here. But this is what we have at the moment. So Nebraska 2-3 in quad 1, 3-3 in quad 2, and then undefeated 10-0 in quads 3 and 4. What you'll notice is, as well, if you look at some of the other metrics here, they've fallen in the results-based metrics, which is the KPI and the strength of record, the predictive metrics and the KenPom and the BPI and the
your little KenPom thing.
The Sagarin's not ready yet, I guess.
Wow.
But the strength of schedule, this is one of the things that they'll look at the end of the year, specifically non-con strength of schedule. If you were a bubble team, Nebraska 3-2-4. You can't do anything about that at this point. I mean, it's going to move based on what K-State does. It's going to move a little bit based on what, like, you know. But if you look on KenPom right now at Nebraska's non-con, here's what they did. 347 Lindenwood, 342 Florida A&M. I mean, those are two of the worst 15 teams in the country that they played right off the bat. 323 South Carolina State. That's another bottom 25 team in the country. Cal State Fullerton, North Dakota, both in the 200s. Stony Brook and Ryder end up being in the 200s. Oregon State got a win the other night against, what was it? They beat Arizona the other day. That was impressive over the weekend. Duquesne is, a pretty decent one. And then you were kind of hanging your non-conference hopes on a home game against Creighton, which is a good bet. It's a home game, right? Winning that would have been nice for them, but they didn't come close.
They beat them last year.
And they beat them last year. And then K-State on the road, which you played, well enough in that you won that game, and now you're hoping that K-State can sort of hold up their end of the bargain. And that was it. That was it in the non-con for Nebraska. So this is always a little bit of a wobbly kind of proposition, right? It's not standing on the most solid of ground. And then when you include the Big Ten and the opportunities that the league gives you this year, you know that it's fewer and further between. Now, as we said before, they've already accomplished a lot. They've beaten Purdue. Nobody's going to take that away from you. That's a 1 seed. You beat a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament on your home floor. Bang. Seal it up. It's a quad 1 win. No matter if you're on, if you're on the home floor, like you double home floor, whatever that means. That is a home win against a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Michigan State's metrics still look good. That win you can look back on and say that was a big one. Northwestern is going to be, in that same range as Nebraska. That's a peer. Ohio State is hanging on for dear life. So for those of, we've talked about what needs to happen going forward for Nebraska at 5-5 in the league right now. And what it really comes down to, we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Tomorrow's a really big game. It's just, there's just not that many opportunities left. Tomorrow is a big game. And if we've already agreed and everybody's sort of together agreed on this, Nebraska's a better team at home. They're a different team at home. They have a chance to beat anybody at home. We've seen it. They beat Purdue. Your remaining home schedule is Wisconsin, which will obviously do you a ton. Michigan, which will do you nothing for a home win. Penn State, which will do you nothing for a home win. And Rutgers, which will do you nothing for a home win other than having the optics of beating them at home and losing to them on the road, splitting that series, right? If you get swept by Rutgers, that's a problem. So Nebraska tomorrow is such a huge game, but they cannot lose a home game after tomorrow. They straight up cannot lose a home game after tomorrow. That will kill you. That will murder you.
Far be it from me to defend Nebraska basketball, but I'm thinking of watching games. They throw that graphic up there, quality wins. Obviously, Purdue will be on there. Michigan State will be on there.
K-State, Northwestern,
K-State,
Indiana might hang on.
The bad losses column would it be empty? I mean, at the time, we kind of thought at Rutgers was a bad loss, but really it was more like the way.
Yeah, I mean, Nebraska has 1 loss at home.
Yeah,
this year, and where the bad losses category gets populated is when you lose games at home.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
don't lose games at home, right? I'm telling you this with certainty. Nebraska cannot lose a home game after tomorrow. Tomorrow, I mean, great opportunity for them. A win would propel them, and it would be another one that goes into your back pocket. A loss doesn't murder you. After tomorrow, a loss at home murders you. Murder, Josh.
Murder.
Michigan, Penn
I'll
State.
be dressed like the Grim Reaper.
Rutgers and Minnesota.
I'm coming.
You can't lose that. You can't lose any of those games at home. And if you're losing tomorrow, then you got to pick one or two up on the road. 10-10 in the league, looking the way it's looking right now. Let's say they do lose tomorrow, and then they do lose their remaining, or they do win their remaining 4 home games after that. That puts you with 2 home losses all year to Creighton and Wisconsin. And that gets you to below 500 in the league. That means you're going to have to at least pick one up just to go 500. I mean, just to do what you want to do, right? And so they'll have to. Illinois is another big challenge. Winning on the road at Northwestern. Ohio State is a team you've already beat. Indiana is a team that you've already beat. Michigan is a team that you already will have beaten at the time to finish out the regular season. So they'll have to do it. Like, they can't just lose out on the road and win out at home. Right? So
love a challenge.
Would love to go +1. And if you can go +1, tomorrow is a big step toward that. And then you only need one road win after that. And I know we shouldn't be giving Nebraska wins, but I think the conference has kind of separated itself a little bit. Not that they're capable of not losing those games. They certainly are, those home games. But that's sort of the outlook for Nebraska. And that, you played even. It gets you to 20-11, 10-10 in the league. And in that case, I wouldn't feel very good about Nebraska just straight up on the resume perspective as it stands. They'd have to probably do a little bit of damage in Minneapolis, where the conference tournament is this year.
People forget.
I wouldn't feel very good about. I wouldn't feel safe with that. You pick up Wisconsin tomorrow, and you pick up a road win, and it's 12-8 instead of 10-10. Safe, like the old guy in Mr. Deeds. Safe.
Percentage chance they're in the tournament. As it stands today, it obviously changes day to day. Or 1 out of 10, or
like, are you saying if the season ended today, or like my projection of their last 10? I think you're asking my projection.
Great follow-up question. Yes, projection, I think is what I'm asking.
I mean, they're like dead 50-50 right now. Okay. Like if it ends today, they're in Dayton. If it ends today, they're like barely in.
Okay.
We'll know a lot more tomorrow, I think. You look in the bracket matrix right now. Big Red is a bracket matrix 10 seed. They appear in 80 out of the 86 brackets that bracket matrix is tracking at the moment. I don't feel like hunting down all of the 6 people that don't have Nebraska in the tournament, mostly because I can't fault them for not having them in the tournament at the moment. They're a dead-on bubble team at this very moment. Average seed 9.78 at this very moment. So, really don't want to get into the stupid conversation about how winning a play-in game doesn't count in the NCAA tournament. I just really love to avoid that at all costs.
Please.
Win some road games. Help me.
We have fun with this team, but that will not be a fun
That conversation would break my sports radio brain.
I don't want to have it. I don't want to ask that question.
Somebody asked on YouTube, Travis, what does Connor's little KenPom thingy say? 53 at the moment on KenPom. KenPom actually projects Nebraska at 20-11, 10-10.
Oh, okay.
So they project them to lose each of their next 3. And I think, aside from the resume part of this conversation, Josh, and then we get into like the psychological stuff, really don't want to see them lose their next 3 games because I'm afraid about what is said at that point.
Takes will be had.
Don't want to see Nebraska at 5-8 and 15-9.
Ooh.
I don't want that. It's very possible. It is a shot that is in the bag, but I do not want to see it.
Don't do that. Don't do that. People like me will have takes.
Well, it's not just the people having takes too. I am also worried about the team.
Oh,
I am also worried about the team and what happens to them if they lose 4 Big Ten games in a row. I don't want to see that.
But they beat Purdue that one night.
I don't want to address that. All right. That is Nebraska. On to the Blue Jays. All right, so we're not talking about the bubble with Creighton here, as you can take a look at their team sheet on our stream on YouTube or conveniently located 1620thezone.com. 3-3 in quad one. Take a look at that Alabama win. Wins in December don't usually get you much, especially wins in December at home. But that one's going to hold up nice. The metrics love the Tide. So that'll be a stock quad one. You will get a chance at UConn down the stretch.
Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell round 2 right here in Omaha. And outside of that, I mean, St. John's has the potential. Marquette has the potential. St. John's is on the road, so that'll be a quad one opportunity for Creighton. But home games, you're looking at UConn and Marquette. So Creighton will have probably still a handful more quad one opportunities to just enhance their resume. But with that, I mean, with them, you're not really like, we're thinking about the difference between a 5 and a 3 seed kind of at this point. So if you continue to look up and down their team sheet, 3-3, 4-2 in quad 2. The losses coming. That UNLV one is a little stinky. People are not going to like that. So you're going to have to do some other stuff. And that Villanova home loss is getting stinkier by the day. They are kind of not good, Josh.
Kind of caught in a tailspin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been vocal about Mr. Neptune over there. I don't think he's very good. It's amazing to me that they have so much talent and, can't produce a consistent basketball team. With that being said, they have Creighton's number. There's no other way to say it. They might get swept by Villanova. They might get swept by Villanova, and that won't be good. So keep that in mind. And then undefeated in 3 and 4. Non-con strength of the schedule 81. That checks out. And, good on the metrics, obviously, and everything. The bracket matrix currently has the Blue Jays as a 3 seed with an average seeding of 3.29. I see them as low as a 5 and as high as a 3. Now, for Creighton, upcoming, they get Butler Friday. Providence and Xavier are 2 quad 1 opportunities back-to-back on the road. Providence has had their ups and downs, obviously still trying to get used to life without Bryce Hopkins. And, Xavier gave Creighton a really good run at home last week and then got absolutely wrecked by UConn the other night. I mean, they got smoked. Now, a lot of teams are going to get smoked by UConn. So Xavier is good, but they might not have enough to keep it on track. I like that Creighton, maybe I'd rather have Creighton get them a little bit later down the line on the road after things have maybe spiraled a little bit for them. We'll see. Georgetown won't do anything for you. Butler on the road will help. UConn at home, obviously, that's a big game. I think for Creighton, they're obviously, the tournament seeding is going to land where the tournament seeding does. I think they're at the very most there. At the very highest, I think they're a 3. At the lowest, I mean, they could lose 3 or 4, out of these next 10.
I don't think 5's out of the question.
I don't think
them falling that far.
I don't think 5's out of the question of them losing, which would get them to. I mean, they'd still be 20 and 10 at that point, but they could be like a 6 seed, But you're going to be defined by what you do against UConn. But for the Jays, like I said, the seeding is going to end up where they end up. I think they're still going to try and make a run here at the Big East Championship. I mean, all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, oh my God, UConn's 8-1. We still have a game with them at home. So we get to figure that out on the floor. Marquette's 7-3, same as you. Still have a game with them on your home floor that Frank Caliendo will be at.
That's right.
And
say hi to him.
It's
my bud.
You have to go to St. John's. You still play Seton Hall at home. Like, you play all the top contenders at home. You get a chance to give them one. So like, they're not dead for that league title. And I sure as hell didn't think I'd be saying that 2 weeks ago. And you're heading into a portion of your schedule that is pretty manageable. So I don't know. There's still a lot to figure out with Creighton, but obviously they're an NCAA tournament team. We were talking before about their ceiling. I just think it's pretty easy to default to. I think it would be a success to get to the second weekend, and it would kind of be a failure to miss the second weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Right? Not that they can't miss the second weekend, but like for what they've shown, for what their ceiling is perceived to be, for what their seed's going to be in the NCAA tournament, I think it would stink if they didn't get into the second weekend. With that being said, they might walk into the NCAA tournament with a 6 seed and have to wear a dark jersey in the second game. Didn't have to do that last year, but here we are.
Now, I've looked at the bracketology that was released yesterday.
Yes. What have you found?
I have found that Nebraska is in the last 4 in section. They would be headed to Dayton. Don't want that. Winner would play a Florida Atlantic team that, I don't know if you remember, went to the Final Four last year.
I do.
First 4 out, Villanova's on that line. Next 4 out, Butler's on that line. They're coming to town Friday. Creighton is a 3 seed right now, headed to Memphis. In a bracket, they would play Morehead State in the first round. They'd get the Oklahoma-Indiana State winner in the second round. I
would like Creighton's pass to the second weekend if that was the case.
Yes.
I very much would. So, here's where we're at. Halfway through the conference season for both. Obviously, a ton to be figured out still.
On the floor.
Yeah, they'll do it on the floor. They'll figure it out. That's the good part about how Creighton's schedule worked out for them. They got beat up early. They took that. What ended up is going to end up maybe being a bad loss at home to Villanova.
Learn about your team, retool against the lesser teams in the conference,
and Marquette comes here, and UConn comes here, and that's all in the final 4 games. I think it will come down to that stretch. Like it will come down to the Big East championship will be decided. It'll move somewhere in the range of February 20th to March 9th when it ends, like in those 2 weeks. Creighton plays UConn at home, St. John's on the road, Seton Hall at home, Marquette at home, and Villanova on the road. Those are all losable games.
Yeah.
Creighton could lose all those games. I don't think they will lose all of them, but I mean, that's where it's decided. So they're still in they're ramping up to that point at this point in the schedule. All right. We'll come back here. Still a couple more things that I want to get to. But thank you for joining us with the bracket matrix. We can talk about Greg Olsen and a local soccer star taking a step up.
Ooh.
Yeah. We don't talk about soccer a lot on this show.
Football.
That's right. We'll hit both of those next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on The Crossover.
A horny industrial
leather industrial. John has a lot of questions.
Yeah. I do have a lot of questions.
Will
Where
John
can I
get
find
any?
one? What is this horny industrial leather show?
Black Blade?
What made them industrially horny?
Should we just play 20 questions with this tweet?
What made them industrial horny? Amazing question.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A day to get out and absorb some sunshine today with temperatures climbing all the way up to the mid-50s. Cloudy skies working their way in overnight will start tomorrow with a temperature in the mid-30s, but temperatures yet again rising into the mid to upper 50s, but this time with cloudy skies. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV News Watch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source. By your mom's house.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Since 1972, family-owned and locally roasted Host Coffee Service has been roasting the finest coffee for businesses and restaurants. If you're ready to change to a better coffee provider, it's time for Host Coffee.
Omaha's best coffee since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and.
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's a celebration of love at Saul's Jewelry and Loan. Now through Valentine's Day, get 50% off a huge selection of jewelry. Diamond rings, 50% off. Gold chains, 50% off. Bracelets, 50% off. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. It's the celebration of love sale at Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
If you're having problems in the bedroom, talking about it is the last thing you want to do. Same goes for hair loss, anxiety, or even depression. That's where HIMS comes in. Through HIMS, you don't have to talk about it. You can do something about it. Just go to hims.com/start, where you can find a variety of potential solutions for the problems men face every day and save up to 95% on generic alternatives. The entire process is 100% online, making it incredibly simple, straightforward, and above all, private. If prescribed, treatments made using clinically proven ingredients are shipped directly to your door in low-key packaging. So if you're experiencing ED, hair loss, anxiety, or problems with your general health, you don't have to go to the doctor or the pharmacy or spend all day talking about it. Just go to hims.com/start and do something about it. Get started today at hims.com/start. That's HIMS.com/START.
All right. Some cool news this morning, reported by, this is the first time we'll check in with Tom Bogert, who is a U.S. soccer writer for The Athletic.
Hi, Tom.
The Blackburn Rovers are finalizing a $4 million deal for Orlando City striker Duncan McGuire. Duncan McGuire out of Creighton and out of Creighton Prep. Won the Mac Herman Award in Creighton's trip to the College Cup. Yes, I was trying to figure out what they called the college final
what
four.
It was called. I just wanted to brag that I knew what it was.
You got it. You got it first. I'm about to blow you away with my English soccer knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So he had been playing for Orlando City FC or Orlando City, excuse me, and he had gotten actually a call to play for the U.S. men's national team in the next stage of international play. And, in the MLS, it's we have the NBA, we have the NFL, we have Major League Baseball. All the foreign athletes come to play in America for those sports. If there's an American athlete in soccer who is capable of playing at the English level, the English championship level, they're going to have to go because they're going to get paid more money and they get more opportunities and they play against the best competition in the world. It's just more ingrained. It's just part of the deal. So the deal is not done yet, according to Tom, but Duncan has departed Orlando's preseason camp in Mexico to travel to England to compete in the move. Now they are in their season, the team Blackburn. And so I did a little.
They're in their season.
Their season doesn't end until the spring.
Okay.
So they're in their season right now, and so English football. I've long tried to get this straight, but I have to tell you that I need visual aids and I need to do research every time I talk about this.
Bear with us, soccer fans.
So we have the English pyramid. We have the top of the pyramid, which is the Premier League, the Championship League.
I've heard of those.
And then there's League 1, League 2, and then the National League, which is, well, that's full professional still.
No DH.
Right. The net. So there's a whole bunch of tiers of this, and then there's spinoffs of that afterwards. Obviously, you want to get to the Premier League. The Blackburn team is the Blackburn Rovers are in the Championship League at the moment, toward the bottom of the Championship League. So what?
Not for long.
They want to. That's right, Josh. They want to avoid relegation.
Okay.
To League 1, and they're bringing in the kid from Omaha.
September call up.
They're bringing in the kid from Omaha, Duncan McGuire. And he hopefully will keep them out of relegation and then maybe propel them into the Premier League next year or something along those lines. But that's a great story. I got a chance to do a couple of Duncan's games while he was at Creighton doing some soccer. I mean, the thing that you notice about him is he's probably the most physically imposing soccer player I've ever seen. He's like 6'5" and he's a giant Midwestern dude, right? But he still possesses all this skill. Big kid, and obviously dominated at Creighton. And then it took him not very long to start dominating the MLS. And the natural next step is to head off to across the pond.
Jolly old England.
Blackburn's currently 18th in the championship, 8 points clear of the relegation zone. They just beat Rob McElhenney's and Ryan Reynolds' Wrexham in the 4th round of the FA Cup. And take on Newcastle in the 5th round. So there you go. It's a great local story, and honestly, has Duncan come on the show before? I think I may have talked to him for the podcast.
This show, no.
Yeah. But that would be a great story to tell, and I think that automatically makes him the greatest Omaha soccer player we've ever had. I'm serious.
Right?
He is. I don't think there's anybody from Omaha who's ever played on that level before. That's insane.
There's a lot of soccer that's been played here.
And hopefully it's just the start for our great city.
Now I'm going to
Duncan McGuire putting us on the map. What?
I'm going to ask you a question.
Come on, let's do it. Yeah.
You probably don't know the answer to.
I'm going to try though. Come on.
How could I watch Duncan McGuire play footy ball?
So it's actually easy to watch him play football here. It's harder in England or in Europe.
I mean, they got a match with the Queens Park Rangers coming up on Saturday at 9. I don't know if it's AM or PM.
I believe that is all on Apple TV.
It looks like it's AM. I don't know what time zone that is.
Yeah, they're 5 hours ahead, 6 hours ahead of us.
Soccer fan on the chat has said ESPN Plus for FA Cup.
Yeah, and they have at least one more match in the FA Cup, but I don't know what they do for the Champions League that they're in.
Okay,
I think it's all on Apple TV or ESPN Plus. Tony's saying ESPN Plus.
Many are saying ESPN Plus,
but you can stream them.
I have ESPN Plus.
You can stream them. You just can't do it if you're there. If you're in Europe, they're very specific.
Oh, that's right.
They want you to listen to games on the radio.
I've heard John Schreiner discuss this.
Right. Yes. And I know all this from John, partly from John, and partly from Schreiner, and partly from watching Welcome to Wrexham.
He has very cogent soccer takes, and I'm sure he'll be delivering them on After Hours this evening at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
If you want a soccer fan's perspective,
ask John
on this soccer story.
Ask Schreiner if he's the best player to ever come out of Omaha. He might have been already, but I think this just cements it. He's in the pyramid. He's in the pyramid. Josh, he's in the pyramid.
The pyramid?
Yes.
Now that's badass.
He's in the English pyramid. It's amazing stuff. Not even Ryan Reynolds could buy his way into the, close to the top of the pyramid. He's still 2 steps below him.
They have a Blackburn Rovers stuffed dinosaur. Oh my goodness.
Well, now we're cooking.
It only costs 18 pounds. I don't know what that means, but I'm buying it.
Quickly, you want to talk about Greg Olsen? What do you just take a guess at what's going to happen with Greg Olsen.
Oh my gosh.
There's so many options for him.
He can opt out if Tom Brady takes his spot.
Correct.
You have to opt out and see what's out there, right? Because
I don't think you have to. I think a potentially smart move for him is to just take the demotion to the second team
and
wait
for Tom Brady to get bored
and
be like, I'm not doing. I can't do this anymore.
And sit and wait. Or you could say, no, thank you. I'm a free agent, and why don't you kick Tony Romo out? There is that option.
What's Chris Collinsworth's staying?
Yep.
How long is he going to stay around and do that?
So I think the best move for him, and I think essentially this is the plan at the moment, is to just kind of hang on, take the demotion, and wait for something else to happen, because he's obviously the next guy up for a number one booth.
He's been very gracious about it.
Yes.
And I don't think that's just, well, publicly I have to say these things.
And he's done a really good job.
Yeah,
like
he's amazing.
I do think privately he is probably like I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Like Tom Brady's never done this before.
No,
we have no idea whether he's going to be good at it or
and
not.
He might very well be great at it because he's a great quarterback and he can see things and read defenses before a play.
Yeah.
But also, no one tunes in for the analyst. No one's, Tom Brady's doing the game, I have to watch it. So, like, for him to like be pushed aside because of a ratings ploy, like, that's stupid.
It was and I think the thing, that's working against him, obviously, is him and Burkhardt was sort of, there was always a stopgap crew. Like, it was always going to be a stopgap to wait and see what the next thing was going to be.
I've enjoyed them.
But you found that they're pretty good together. They have good chemistry, and Olsen's really good. And certainly capable of manning that spot. And so what he said all along was that he was going to make it hard for him, and he has. But ultimately, I don't think that gets him anywhere with that job at this moment. I think they push him out for Tom Brady, and then we figure out what's next for Greg Olsen. That's my official prediction, by the way. I just think he bumps down to the 2 crew and then hangs out and waits for the next thing to pop.
I would much rather,
because I don't think Romo's done yet. I think Romo, if they try to force Romo out, Romo will be like, okay, fine, I'll try. And then there's like at least a 1 year waiting period for him to get better. And then you see what
that
happens.
booth is too expensive to like tinker with.
Yeah.
Like I would much rather see Tom Brady like a little 10-15 minute YouTube video of him breaking down quarterback play.
Yeah. I think that seems like a better spot for him.
But
there is, of course,
Fox doesn't have anywhere to put that.
Well,
like they're not going to put it on FS. I guess if they put it on FS1, I might watch FS1 for the first time.
There
in
is
years.
The option of the 3-man crew, Josh.
True.
I just feel like that's too much.
Yeah,
but
I feel like
it's worked variously from before, but I don't know. I think he's going to.
There isn't enough room to get the breakdowns that both could offer.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so either. I think it's a 2-man. I think Brady forces Olsen out, and then they have to sort of go from there. All right, quick timeout. We'll come back. Both questions, tell you what to watch next on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal are coupons valued at $50 on sale for just $25 to the Woodcliff restaurant at Woodcliff Lake in Fremont. It's perfect for a romantic dinner or to bring the whole family to enjoy a culinary treat for any special occasion. $50 on sale for just $25 to the Woodcliff restaurant at Woodcliff Lake in Fremont. This week's half-off deal.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Hey fans, looking for the best seats without the hidden fees? Then you need to check out Tickets for Less. Whether it's Creighton games, Husker matchups, or big-time concerts and events, they've got you covered, all with no service fees. Now, you ready to score a deal? Use the code THEZONE at ticketsforless.com and save on your next event. You prefer to go mobile? Grab the free Tickets for Less app and shop with ease. Every seat holds a story, so find yours and save when you use the promo code THEZONE at ticketsforless.com and the Tickets for Less app today.
Poll questions at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. We're, of course, the friendliest show in the U.S. Do men love Martha Stewart? Was a poll question from yesterday in the crossover in the afternoon. You bet.
I mean, you're basically asking if men like weed.
60% say no, men do not love Martha Stewart.
Oh, wow.
Interesting read by the American public. And then
I do.
No poll questions today because for a variety of different reasons.
Yeah, I came in late.
Josh is insubordinate.
Yeah.
And we had the tweet bag and we're doing a whole bunch of other stuff. So what are we watching tonight?
We're watching the NBA doubleheader on the ESPN family of networks. Suns at Nets 7:30 start. That is on ABC. Kevin Durant returns to Brooklyn.
Oh,
does that do anything for you?
No, he's had too many returns already.
9:00 on ESPN. Bucks at Blazers. Damian Lillard returns to Portland.
Okay, that does something.
And they should cheer him, and I predict they will.
I think so.
Yeah.
All the hippies out there.
NHL final night before the All-Star break, just a 3-game slate. Kings at Predators, 6:30 puck drop on TNT. College basketball, Northwestern at number 2 Purdue, 6:00 on BTN. It's not Peacock for the Boilermakers tonight. Yeah.
Are they in trouble?
Oh, no. Providence at number 1 UConn, 7:30 on FS1. Couple women's games. Marquette at number 22 Creighton, 6:00 start on 1180. That's a radio.
That's a big one.
It's not a television channel, although this is what to watch. I believe Josh on that call. Don't quote me on that.
I would imagine that that's the case.
Okay.
Yes.
Purdue at Nebraska tonight, not on TV, but number 1 in our hearts, Connor Happer. Working tonight.
I guess you're right.
And then 7:00 on Peacock, number 3 Iowa at a not very good Northwestern team. I tell you Northwestern isn't very good, so I can tell you this. Caitlin Clark, if she scores 5 points tonight, it will move her into 3rd place on the all-time scoring list. If she scores 14 points tonight, it will move her into 2nd place on the all-time scoring list.
And if she scores 139, she'll be first.
She'll be first. It could happen.
129, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So she is moving ever closer to the number 1 on that list. And at 9:00 tonight on FX, it is a new season of the series Feud. This season, it highlights writer Truman Capote as he spirals into self-destruction after falling out with his swans, a coterie of rich socialites played by Naomi Watts, Diane Lane, Chloe Sevigny, and Callista Flockhart.
Wow.
Where'd we find Callista Flockhart at?
Wow.
With Harrison Ford.
It's a lot of people of age.
Yes.
In that show. Nice. Cody, one more text before we get out of here.
Hi, Cody.
Josh O needs to pay a quarter every day he does not post at least 3 poll questions.
Oh.
That's your quarter?
I don't hate that.
Might have got him on one there. Okay. That'll go in the bag of suggestions. That is the show. And if you missed anything, you can find it all conveniently located on our website, 1620thezone.com. The crossover is next.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hey,
Hey, Brianna, look at you, graduating already.
Yeah, knocked out my gen eds in 2 years at MCC.
And now you're off to
Finish my 4-year degree at the university.
That was fast. I'll bet your mom
Loves that. We saved thousands in tuition.
Now that's smart.
That's Metropolitan Community College.
Knock out your gen eds in 2 years before transferring to a 4-year university. Get started at mccneb.edu/me. Classes start March 7th.
This is me at MCC.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The 20th ranked Omaha Maverick hockey team is coming off an overtime road sweep against St. Cloud State. This Friday and Saturday night, Maverick hockey takes on Minnesota Duluth at Baxter Arena. And the Maverick men's basketball team, with the second most wins in the Summit League, is making a run at the league title.